and gentlemen, now it is time. It's a segment that everyone looks forward to, one of the highest rated segments of all time that I've ever done. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Phil's day off.
What's up, Piggy? Let's get it started.
Big up Cat.
It's my day off. Might leave the camera on and jerk off. It's my day off. Spend money on posing damn shit. It's my day off. Might go out with my bitch wife cat. Give me money today. Give me money today.
This is where my fucking money goes to every month. Garbage dump, grocery shopping, pay my taxes, pet store, paying bills, blowing his money on mobile games, blowing his money on this and that. I'm spending all this money buying DoorDash for my business. I need to put disgusting food in the mouths of my family members. Obviously, I need tips. Yes, I spend money on mobile games. Okay? These are my life priorities. Pay my taxes.
It's my day off. Might leave the camera on and jerk off. It's my day off. Spend money on posing damn shit. It's my day off. Might go out with my bitch wife cat. Give me money today.
Obviously, I need tips.
Give me money today.
This is where my fucking money goes to every month.
Shout out to the trolls.
For those who contributed, thank you. It would be great if we get a few more tips. To make up earlier today, we did not hit the hat goal either. It's been a very slow day. It would be great if we could pick it up a little bit with maybe some contributions tonight with tips. If you can, just saying. You know, I know some people are super chatting or whatever. That helps long term, but right now I really can help. Tomorrow's my day off. The tips I'll have for my day off, you see?
Give me money today.
Because then there was some weird running meme once I finally showed a picture of my wife. Dad, they said she looks like a horse. And I was like,
I need my horse, baby, oh. She's like my mother and my lover.
I love the horse.
I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby. I love the horse, baby, dog. She's like my mother and my lover, yeah. I love my horse, baby. She's like my mother and my lover, dog. I love my horse, baby, dog. You're my soulmate. Put some makeup on your eyes right before you cry. Never ever say goodbye. Married till I die. You're my soulmate. I just wanna get on top of you and ride until the sunset. Baby, let's go get some DoorDash. Let's go to Burger King. Fuck all the junkies in front. They're just shooting up like they got guns. Let me get you a nice little burger with the buns. I got all the funds. I just wanna chill and have fun. You can play video games as long as I get drunk. Make some quick pulls, those are my rules. And if you follow them, I might say I love the horse, baby, dog. She's like my mother and my lover, yeah. I love my horse, baby.
I love the horse.
I need my horse, baby.
There's nothing whatsoever on my wife that looks like that.
I love my horse, baby. She's like my mother and my lover, dog. I love my horse, baby, dog. You're my soulmate. Put some makeup on your eyes right before you cry. Never ever say goodbye. Married till I die. You're my soulmate. You're my soulmate. I need my horse, baby, oh. She's like my mother and my lover. I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby. I need my horse, baby, oh. She's like my mother and my lover. I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby.
You wanna know what he did? He took the face of the escort and put a horse's head on it, and he said, my wife looks like a horse.
I need my horse, baby. Oh, she's like my mother and my lover.
Hello. Ew. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the day off. Hopefully you've got your soul mares near. Okay. Don't ask me why the chat's not up. I didn't do it. Nothing I could do. I'm throwing my hands up already. Thank you all for stopping by this morning, whether you're at work or it is really actually your day off. I appreciate it nonetheless. And just a heads up for anybody who is looking forward like a sicko to any sort of eating style segments. It's not going to happen today. We're not looking at eating, and we're not looking at Street Fighter. So if you came for those things, let's just knock it off right now. It's not going to happen. Instead, we're going to get right into the what I think is the most important segment, honestly, because all of you guys have been asking. You know, it's big in the vortex. It's big in DSP's own chat. What is happening with DSP throwbacks, guys? Very, very important that we see classic Phil as much as possible. Back when he was good, you know, right? You guys agree. And we finally got that answer this week. So you guys know the drill. I don't want to be here all day, but we just might be if I can't shut up. So we got to get into it.
So
last year.
In January of 2024,
you agree. See, just take the question mark off of good, and you agree.
Branded my old
I'm just
KO
trying
gaming
to
channel
help you along
that had been
here.
sitting unused on YouTube for something like 6+ years.
Actually, my bad. My apologies even to all of the people who re-upped or stop it. Big ups to everybody that did their little thingy thing before. I'm gonna play it. I promise. It'll play. I'm gonna play this real
Okay,
quick.
originally that channel was supposed to be a edited content channel, and for a whole year, it was reviews, countdowns, highlights.
All right, shut up, Phil. We've got Poper Lives, 34 links. Thank you so much for the 10 months in a row. Big ups, brother. I really appreciate it. And XJS for the 3 months in a row. Thank you. Saying gang, skirt, fuck Phil. Real talk. Thank you so much to the both of you. And nice and early too. So maybe we could hit the goal. Okay.
Topical
Just kidding,
videos, video essays, etc. It
We
was a
gotta
pretty
talk
good
about the
channel
guy.
for a year.
We're
It actually had a
throwing
video
back.
that brought in
We're-
over 1 million
We're
views.
throwing it back
It actually
right
made me
now,
a lot of
guys.
money. Okay, it was a profitable endeavor, and I was actually balancing where half the day I would stream and half the day I would video edit for that channel. What ended up happening is the channel went.
And I didn't even know this. I didn't know that this was DSP's claim about throwback. I didn't know that he was claiming to have spent half of his days doing video editing. I don't know how he could have spent that much time. If any of you have spent any time in a video editor, it's pretty straightforward, at least the kind of videos that DSP was making. It should not have been taking him all day or half the day or whatever he's claiming just to cut some clips. It don't take that long.
Defunct in 2018 when YouTube demonetized it for no reason. And I mean that. There was literally no reason. They didn't give me a reason. They didn't check in and tell me, oh, you violated a rule. They just made it so every video that I uploaded to that channel
He's an
was
effing
demonetized.
When
When I asked them about it, all they would do is send me a form letter response. Oh, here's the reasons why we
the
demonetized
best dent
it.
in
Yeah,
the
but the
snore
channel
text right
has
now.
none of those. So why do you keep demonetizing it? And they never responded. So the channel sat there completely unused for many years as a backup channel. There was one point where YouTube had screwed up DSP Gaming because of Google Plus back when that was tied to it and was a thing. And I used the channel as a backup to upload. But for the most part, it just sat there dormant as, if I ever needed it as like a failsafe or whatever.
But then,
Right. That very common thing that YouTubers do all of the time. They have a fail-safe channel, of course. Now, that actually isn't the most absurd idea ever. A lot of people do have second channels or backup channels or whatever, but it's very odd to me that DSP has like 5 of them. Real talk.
Over the
That
course
he's
of
got
several
5
years, some
different
ideas
channels
started
that he
to
could go
sprout
to.
up
But whatever.
amongst the viewers. And one of the ideas was, did I ever think of possibly restoring some lost playthroughs? For example, I didn't always upload all my gameplay to the DSP Gaming channel here on YouTube. I used to have other channels. So, for example, I used to have
Right.
DSP Street Fighter, and I used to have Red Dead DSP, and I used to have like Final Fantasy 13 DSP or something like that. I don't even actually remember what it was called. Maybe it was like Dark Side Phil Final Fantasy 13 or something like that.
He can't even remember his own lore. Very
Now,
cool,
the reason those
dude.
channels
Very
exist is-
cool. And this is, I think, and the reason that I left this in the clip is I think this is really indicative of DSP's content as a whole. You cannot have a discussion about anything. You can't, just talk about what's going on without giving the entire historical background in perfect pigsplanation form, so that any dent who, again, cannot remember yesterday, so that they can follow along with the story, because it's absolutely super vital that you understand every single plot point instead of just what's happening right now, which is what's actually important.
Because way back when, over a decade ago, there were certain companies that were very copyright happy when it came to claiming stuff. Rockstar was one of them. Square Enix was one of them. So whenever you were going to post up a playthrough of one of those games, you had to be apprehensive. Were you going to get hit with copyright takedown requests? Okay. So I ended up setting up these separate channels for those playthroughs to protect my main Dark Side Phil channel. Well, guess what? The
Which he
playthroughs
doesn't
went up
even
without a
use
hitch.
anymore,
People
by
liked
the
them.
way.
They got
That's always my favorite. It's that we've got this Dark Side Phil channel that no longer gets money, and we had to protect it back in the day. It's our namesake even, and we never use it. We never go back to it. We never promote those videos. We never give it a shout out. We just continue to move forward on DSP Gaming, right?
hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of views total. And they just kind of sat there, archived on these channels for many years, not even monetized. I never even put ads on those playthroughs, okay?
What a saint.
What ended up
What a
happening was, over
saint,
the
you
years, I just
guys.
kinda
He
forgot about
didn't
the channels
even
because everything got
monetize
uploaded to
them.
DSP Gaming. But then, all of a sudden, probably around like 2016-ish, someone got illegal access to the channels. They found this backdoor loophole with the whole Google process and found a way to log into the channels without my permission and take control of them, completely stealing them. Like, I couldn't even get them back. I tried, and I couldn't get control of the channels back. Okay? They then
Yeah,
streamed
Penitence, free
sports
content.
footage,
Can you
including
believe it?
football and
From
other
the
stuff,
guy?
and got the channel shut down. So basically what ended up happening was there were big prominent playthroughs from my history that had been lost to time. And there was no way to see them. They were gone from the internet.
Oh, no.
And people were pretty upset that you couldn't watch my original Red Dead Redemption playthrough or my original LA Noire playthrough or the
Who are these people? Like real talk. I know before he did the throwback channel, there was people in his chat asking every once in a while, hey, DSP, ever since you found those hard drives, have you been thinking about uploading? I remember. And I remember making a video saying that he should just do it in his free time because it would cost him almost nothing to re-upload them on the channel, and it would give these people the content that they were looking for, that classic style. And then he blew it up into something that it had no business being as a way to try and grift as much money off of already made content as possible. It's actually kind of crazy the way that he managed to manipulate the situation into blowing it up this big, really.
Final Fantasy 13 playthrough. Well, a few years ago,
Yeah, Redemption
I just happened to
Games,
be doing a
Derek. Yeah,
closet
those
clean-out
probably were
event.
the people
Over the
asking
course of
real
the summer,
talk.
there was some downtime.
The biggest
and
dents.
I did a big marathon where I just sat here cleaning out my closet, finding all kinds of goodies. We found collectibles, artwork,
Eric
old
Brennan,
games,
you're on thin
all
ice
kinds
for
of
that
stuff.
one. I
But
don't like
notably,
that.
one of the things that we found was all of the external hard drives that I used to use to store all of my original YouTube content. And these span from 2008 all the way through like 2018. It's like a ridiculous amount of time, a decade of archived footage. Now, after
Thank you, Penitent Sin, for the 5 gifted. That's very cool of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
that, I decided I didn't need to back up.
But again, very indicative of DSP and the way that he lives. He's got a decade's worth of footage sitting on hard drives in the deep, dank, dark fucking closet. Who else lives like this? Who else keeps media for that long if they're not like an actual, there are some people out there that are general like archivists. That's not how that's pronounced. Archivists. They save stuff from the internet, right? They keep copies of it, and I think that's an important thing to do. But DSP keeping multiple hard drives of decades old gameplay that legitimately nobody gave a shit about. It's just wild work considering, you know, the living situation in his house, right? There was just no reason for him to really do that.
Stuff anymore.
Other than to grift a decade later, which if that was his plan from the beginning, he's got problems deeper than I thought.
Because, you know, modern YouTube, you easily have ways to get these files, download them, etc. So, when we found those hard
You
drives,
know, Eric Brennan, he was talking about the closet clean out for a second. That's where he found the old hard drives. That's how far back you have to go, is literal years in order to find these hard drives for decades old content that he just started uploading last year on a channel. Like this plan stretches so far out and wide. That's what makes it so absurd to me. This is a decades long plan, I suppose.
Eureka. An idea
it would not
Phil,
exactly. This was
since
the
you
real
still have
10-year plan.
all of those original playthroughs, hard
He just
stored on
couldn't
these
tell
hard
his
drives.
mom that this
Would
was
you
the
ever
plan he was
consider
going with.
re-uploading them on the internet so people can now watch them again? And we talked about this for like 2 years, how to do it. Because my concern was, if I were to upload those videos here to DSP Gaming, this channel would be absolutely overwhelmed with gameplay videos. We already have hours and hours of videos that I upload to this channel a day. Now imagine uploading even more. Okay?
But it doesn't have to be like
and it's
that,
absolutely
though.
ridiculous. All right, so
And this is what people told him before, is that like he didn't have to create an entirely separate channel or use a separate channel in order to upload these. He didn't have to upload them in you know, individual parts. We could have done the DSP, you know, classic playthrough, fucking rewind or whatever the hell he wants to call it. Upload the full playthrough as like one video or 4 videos total or something, and that would have been it. That's all it took. But instead we had to put it on a whole new channel with 9,000 goddamn parts going on. Obviously for the free ad revenue, stupid. What's up, movie sign?
I didn't want to do that.
Thanks for stopping by, brother.
We talked about it, and finally, working with certain people, editors behind the scenes.
And that's a good point too, Penitence. He did it to triple dip on memberships as well. Absolutely, absolutely.
People who wanted to help out.
That was the plan then too, the triple dip on memberships with
DSP
free X and that as well.
We rebranded the KO Gaming channel as DSP Throwback in January of 2024, and we decided we would upload those old missing playthroughs to the channel, only it wouldn't just be the playthroughs. These playthroughs now would be edited together to be longer parts, notably around half an hour long, in some cases an hour-long gameplay parts. We're going to upscale the video, so instead of being
but they could have been like 4-hour parts, and again, we could have made far less videos. Granted, it would have generated less revenue, but it would have been more convenient for the viewers. I just can't stress that enough. Like the way that he laid out this entire thing from the outside looking in looks like it's the way to generate as much revenue for him as possible, which is gross as a viewer, I think.
Webcam style from over a decade
when it's
ago,
that
it would make them fully HD. We also have frame rate upscalers. So, for example, these games that were running at 30 frames on my console and recording at like 20-something frames now would be running around 60 frames on YouTube. Okay? Plus, lighting adjustments, audio adjustments, proper titling, thumbnails, all the things that these ancient playthroughs were missing to modernize them. Okay? We started with Red Dead Redemption 1, the original playthrough, but then we continued on with Final Fantasy 13. Then we did the Red Dead Redemption expansion, Undead Nightmare. Then we decided, instead of only focusing on missing content, we could also work on content that needs to be remastered because it just looks and sounds terrible. So we redid.
So we completely lost the point of the channel to begin with, like almost right off the bat. We did a couple of playthroughs and then we moved on to media that already does currently exist that we just wanted to remaster because our ego said so. Our ego said that these are classics that people love, so we have to remaster them instead of, again, the original mission, which was just uploading lost content.
The entirety of the Fallout 3 playthrough from way back when. Then we started picking and choosing other missing content, such as the Dante's Inferno unfinished playthrough. And so on and so forth. It's a body of work. If you have never been there,
it's a body of work. What a way to describe something. Not that it's good, not
I
that,
strongly
not
recommend
that
you
it's
give it a
worth
look,
watching.
because it is a great channel for what it is. Okay, it's
again, these are like descriptors that you use reluctantly. It's great for what it is. It's a body of work, you know.
a really good channel, in my opinion. If you want to see these ancient playthroughs, you know, restored.
This is like when he calls himself prolific. It's not really an adjective that is necessarily good. It's just a descriptor.
In a way that they're actually digestible. All right, here it is, actually, if you've never seen it before. This is DSP Throwback on YouTube, which is at DSP Throwback. And just to
Amazing.
show you
Like
some of the
the
stuff that we've done
actual
over the course of the channel in
explanation that
about
he
a
has
year,
to
year and a
take
half.
you there. He can't just link it in the chat. He can't just tell you where to go. He can't just tell you how to find it. No, we've got to take you there and show you specifically what the page layout looks like, as if you've never used YouTube before as you're actively watching this on YouTube.
Assassin's Creed 2, Resident Evil 5, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, the original Mass Effect 1, Silent Hill 2 HD, which we did in conjunction with the Silent Hill 2 remake, Red Dead Redemption Undead
Yeah,
Nightmare.
take you against your will, pretty much.
Way
That's
more
how
than
it
that.
feels
Let's actually go
sometimes,
through all
man.
the playlists. Let's scroll all the way down.
Like we got to go through all
So
the
here we
playlists
go.
for what?
Final Fantasy 13.
He's
Red Dead
got to,
Redemption
yo,
1.
he's got to individually show you where these fucking retro reacts are too. Like who's for this? What audio style pre-stream enjoyer was looking for DSP to give them a visual breakdown of how to navigate the DSP throwback channel? This is what I'm talking about when I say that the pre-stream is not an audio experience. You can't just tune in for game news, the schedule, you know, what DSP is going to be playing, his thoughts on this or that, because segments like this go on for 21 minutes. This clip is talking about throwbacks and then going onto the page. It's crazy.
Fallout 3. LA Noire, that's right. The missing LA Noire playthrough was upscaled and uploaded to this channel. Okay, Dante's Inferno. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this one. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Why is that one notable? Because the original playthrough on DSP Gaming on this channel is ruined. The music, the copywritten music, all got claimed and muted. So half the playthrough you can't hear. Now we edited it, so now you can actually watch the whole playthrough and hear all the commentary. It's all there. Okay.
Great.
Plus Red Dead Online gameplay, which became a Suicide King series later on.
The world really
and
is
more.
a better
Now, in
place
addition
now
to that,
that
in addition to the upscale,
now that these are
remastered
re-uploaded. Am I
playthroughs
right
that
or am I
put onto
right,
this
folks?
channel. Also, I did what was called Retro React. Retro React was that once a week on like a Sunday night, I would watch my classic gameplay from way back in the day and actually do live streams commenting over it with all of you. That included Dark Souls 1, the entire original run that I rage quit, Heavy Rain, the classic 2010 playthrough, a little bit of Bully, me reacting to some of my most memorable videos of all time with the highest amount of views.
I just can't think of another content creator that goes through their own content to show it off to their audience. I just can't think of a single one that would take the time out of their stream to go on their own channel and tell their own audience how they can watch the content that they're pretty much already currently watching. It's just an insane use of time.
Okay.
From a guy who already claims that he doesn't have time to do anything. This is that time management skill he's just lacking.
Okay. My original Walking Dead playthrough the entire
Thank you,
season one,
Simulator
which is 30 videos.
Dumplings
We're
for
talking like
liking
30
my
hours of
avatar.
content.
I appreciate it.
Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympic Games co-op playthrough, which is absolutely hilarious. Rise of Nightmares, which is a Nintendo Connect game, or excuse me, Xbox Connect game that didn't really ever work. My original PS Home walkthroughs on the PlayStation 3 from back in the day, which PS Home doesn't even exist anymore. My original Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut playthrough. My original Silent Hill 1 playthrough. And that's it. So lots of content, okay? However, as times changed and priorities shifted.
We're, guys, 10 and a half minutes into this clip. We are just now finally getting to the point of the segment, which is what is going on with DSP throwbacks. Because I know, again, a lot of you were asking, everybody in DSP's chat was asking where that type of content went, and I had to let them give you the full historical breakdown, of course. It's absolutely vital to the content.
The focus on this channel dwindled. For example, back in December, I stopped doing Retro Reacts, and I told you guys, hey, in 2025, I'll come back to it at some point when we so choose, and it just so happens, here we are entering April, and we haven't done it yet, okay? We're still doing new stuff on DSP Gaming, and we haven't gone back to doing those Retro React nights. But in addition, the playthroughs have been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. You take a look.
Since Darziak left, specifically, by the way,
video
for
was
anybody
uploaded
who
13
didn't
days
realize,
ago,
I know
and
I
really
mentioned
haven't
it
been a new
last
one.
week,
So
but in
essentially,
case
we're
you
a
missed
good
it,
chunk into Assassin's Creed 2, and we're about 9 hours into Skyrim, okay? And so now people are starting to ask, all right, well, what happened? You were, pretty consistently releasing, episodes of these videos on there. Well, a few things have happened. Allow me to explain, okay?
Okay,
Number one,
finally, 11 minutes
the
in, by
viewership
the
has
way.
massively dwindled. Massively, all right? We started off with these videos getting 1,000 views, each. And then it went down to maybe 700, 800. Then it went down to 500. Now we're releasing episodes, and they're getting 100 views, if that. That's nothing, okay? It's absolutely nothing. A pittance. 100 views on a video. And the thing is, there's a difference between...
Yo, is it actually 100 views? I'm not going to rewind it. Somebody... fuck it. I will. I'll rewind it on my own end. You guys can't see this. I'm looking. I'm lurking. Yeah, those videos actually do have like 134 views. That's crazy. I thought he was Mr. Popular. I thought this is what made him famous, and they don't want to watch it. Come on, guys.
I made a raw gameplay video and I just uploaded it versus, I highly edited this video.
You're letting him
I took all the
down.
old footage. I ran it through an editor. I upscaled it. I upscaled the frames, but also the resolution. I fixed the audio, so now the audio doesn't get claimed on YouTube. But
I'm noticing a lot of eyes here. He's saying I uploaded it, I upscaled it, I fixed the audio. Has anybody heard him say that he was doing these things when he was actually doing the throwback channel? Because as far as I knew, that was the team of editors. He wasn't even uploading his own fucking videos. He would get on stream regularly and tell us, "Oh, guys, they're wrapping it up right now, so I'll have them schedule it to come out for tomorrow." Obviously, I had to stutter through the whole thing. Come on now. But he would frequently come on stream and say that. So what is all this eye nonsense?
it's you could hear all the dialogue now. And I did this. I added thumbnails and everything.
I did
it's a
this,
tremendous
I did
amount
that.
of work. Tremendous. I'm not even kidding you. One video uploaded to DSP Throwback is about 8 hours of work. That's not me exaggerating. It's that much. It's multiple passes through an editor. It's me watching the video back raw, titling it, thumbnail, all.
That's the only part that he ever actually claimed to do. Legitimately, from the beginning, that was the only part that I can nail consistently to DSP, is he claims to have always watched the video and titled it. That's it. I don't know that qualifies as a bunch of work personally, but given who we're talking about, it just might be.
It takes a tremendous amount of work to put that content out.
Incorrect, Beans, you're right. Rendering is not work. You hit render and you walk away.
And so, I mean, you want to talk about diminishing returns. When we started the channel in early 2024, it was getting thousands of views. Now each video getting 100. It really gets to the point where it's like, wow, is this even worth the tremendous amount of effort? So that's number one.
Tremendous amount of effort. Just the way that he describes this sounds like he's running a fucking marathon or something. Like, look, I know getting in an editor and doing a thing or two here or there can take you quite a while, depending on what you're doing. But like, let's not pretend you're working in the fucking coal mine, right? Let's not pretend like you're like you're running marathons or you're fighting fires and saving people's lives. It's not that.
Number two, we've already completed all of the missing playthroughs. If you're not aware, all of the ones that were gone, LA Noire, Red Dead, and the Red Dead Online, Undead Nightmare, as well as Final Fantasy 13, they're all there now. So all the stuff that was the premise of the channel has already been uploaded. It's done. We were actually extending the life of the project because people were enjoying it, but we saw the diminishing returns happen, and we were like, man, this is just, it's not really panning out at this point with the amount of effort that's going into it.
So I did this, I did that, I was doing all of this, but we saw the diminishing returns. We decided that wasn't worth doing anymore. What is going on here, DSP? Why are we changing the way we talk?
Number three, this is being very transparent with all of you. This is not an exaggeration. I'm spending money on the software to actually get these videos upscaled for the channel. So you have to pay for the software and all of that. The actual cost of paying for the software was more expensive than what I'm making on that channel in a month. I'm not kidding you. That channel, without the streams of the Retro React, because the Retro React streams, I'd make money on the streams. But just the raw content, it would be about, I'm not even kidding you, less than $50 a month I was making on that channel. And I want you to think about that. If every week there's 4 or 5 videos being released, each video is 8 hours of work, right?
How is each video 8 hours worth of work? What are we talking about? What is the software, DSP? Where's the transparency that he claims that he's so known for, right? He's Mr. Transparent, he's Mr. Straightforward, Mr. No Bullshit. What software are we talking about? How much did it cost a month? Can I go and look into this software and actually figure out how long it would take to do this? No, I can't, because he won't give me the fucking details. But this is exactly the type of thing that DSP needs to actually give you the details on, so you can not so that you can look into it, obviously, but to actually justify any of his claims. Because right now, it just sounds like he's lying.
40 hours of work a week, 120 hours of work a month. And I'm paying.
To think that he's putting 40 hours of work in a week on videos that already technically exist. Like, that's just wild to me. If it's literally slapping the fucking MP4 file in there and rendering it for 2 hours as it upscales, that's not 2 hours worth of work. It's just not. You can't quantify it like that. At least I don't think so.
Anywhere between $50 to $100 for the software to do said work, and I'm making $40 a month on the channel. Okay? Yeah. And then lastly, on top of all of that, I do have an editing team that does various different things for me. Okay.
So before, if you guys recall the DSP lore, he's a one-man band. He's a one-man army. He's on his island alone. Nobody does anything for him. He does everything himself. He puts his own, studio together, if you're willing to call it that, his office, if you will. He uploads all of his own videos. He schedules everything. He does everything himself, right? But we have a team of editors, not just one, not just a guy who does the thumbnails and we have one editor or whatever. We have a team of editors specifically. But this is your Mr. Blue Collar Worker, Mr. Professional who does everything himself.
Okay. Some of them set up videos, set up streams, set up thumbnails, set up titles ahead of time. Some of
And just all of the things that he just listed off. He can't even set up his own streams. This guy can't schedule streams by himself, which is as simple as going to the top right of YouTube Studio, hitting create, and then going to schedule a stream and put a thumbnail on it with a title. That's as simple as setting up a stream can be. And he can't even do that on his own. He literally needed a team of editors to take over that responsibility for him. Think about that. While he's sitting there saying that he's so out of time and doesn't have any time to do anything. And the guy couldn't do the simplest of tasks to make money. It's absolutely insane. And the real reason why I wanted to include this, obviously all that nonsense about people giving a shit about DSP throwback was nonsense. This is what actually perturbed me the most about this clip, is the admission of an entire team of editors and his admission that he couldn't even schedule his own fucking streams. His crazy work. Crazy.
them do work after the fact. Like if you remember back when my PC was having issues before I got the new one, remember sometimes videos would corrupt. So my editing team would go in there and would pull the footage off of the raw stream so that I have that backup video because I don't have time to do it because I'm still working and streaming. Okay. My editing team were the people who are upscaling, who are adding the videos together into longer parts, stuff like that. Like all this work was being done by the editing team.
Okay, so he wasn't doing 8 hours worth of work doing all of these upscaling then, right? So everything that he just said in the last about 3 minutes worth of this clip was all lies and all nonsense because the editing team was doing all of this while he was taking credit. Sound good? Sounds good to me.
Well,
and I'm sure
some
Cat
of the
fucking
editing team basically
agrees.
quit. Okay, so I don't have everyone anymore. So because of that, things have to suffer and change. You might have already noticed my thumbnails have changed. That's because I'm doing them now. Okay, I'm doing all the thumbnail work. Which
and
is,
they look fucking terrible, by the way. Say what you want about Darziak being a sicko. He made better fucking thumbnails than the guy. Not that that's exactly a compliment, but you got to take your dubs where you can get them, folks.
doing it, by the way. I'm enjoying doing the thumbnails. I hope you guys have liked the thumbnails in the last couple of weeks because that's been all me doing it. But that's me putting in even extra work. All right. So I just don't have enough manpower to actually have DSP throwback operating right now.
Doesn't have enough manpower.
So, and the thing
Mr.
is,
Blue
it's like of all the things,
Mr. Super Relatable is complaining about not having indentured servitude in order to make his business function. Does that sound like your normal kind of content creator? Does that sound like a blue collar worker to you? It doesn't to me.
that are going to suffer, what would have suffered? DSP throwback, which no one's really watching, and the thumbnails, but I can easily make thumbnails myself. It just takes more time. So,
And they're terrible.
it's
and they
not
look
a
like
total
shit.
loss. And it's not like I don't have anyone helping me. That's not true. It's just that the people who were responsible for certain tasks are gone now. Okay.
And I did see it in chat just a second ago, a team of editors not being paid. Darziak claims and shows proof that he was paid by DSP, but he never really showed the amount. So as far as I know, Darziak got paid $1 fucking and wanted to flex on detractors to try and upfill and say that he paid him because he wasn't willing to show the amount. Darziak, show the amount and I'll stop talking shit about how you're a bum that never got paid and taken advantage of like the guard you are. But until that point, nah, you're again just a bum, a dumb, useless bum.
So you might say, well, so what does this mean? Right? What does this mean for the future? Well, here's what it means for the future.
What does this mean for
Number
the future,
one,
you guys?
DSP
How is this
throwback
going
is
to
kinda
impact
dormant,
your
and
life
it's probably
moving
gonna be for a
forward?
bit. Am I thinking of maybe bringing it back in
What's
the
up,
future?
Casey?
Maybe
Glad
getting
you
more
stopped
people or
by.
different people to do the work? Yes. However, it wasn't popular. It was at first for the missing playthroughs. That was the appeal. That's what people wanted. The videos that aren't anywhere else, get those live. And we did that. We accomplished that over 2024. And I'm proud that we did because that was the primary focus of the channel. Get that content live in a way for posterity that people can watch it. And now you can. That content is now preserved forever. And I'm happy for that. Yeah, good stuff.
Did we actually confirm, remaster all of the playthroughs that weren't there, right? Like all of the lost media? Was the goal done? Was I just hating? Because I don't know that that was true. I don't know that I ever got confirmation from DSP specifically to say that all of the lost media has been found and re-uploaded. I didn't know that our mission statement was over. If someone could confirm, I don't know. Lil Calcium with the 2 Australian. Thank you so much for the down under dollars. Saying big ups to my favorite speech impediment streamer. Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you like the speech impediment. Thank you so much.
In that regard, okay? But no one really cared about the new stuff we were doing. Take a look at the views on Assassin.
Suburban High confirming that we're still missing the Dead Space 2 demo. Okay, so we failed our mission. Got it. Moving forward negatively.
Video, it doesn't warrant the amount of work and time and money being put into the channel, okay? What I would like to do, excuse me, is possibly go back and redo, or not redo, but resume the Retro React nights. Now, I just don't know when to do that because as of now, we don't even have enough nights to cover the stuff that I'm doing. Like right now, for example, we're doing Suikoden 1 HD remake. We're doing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, right? We're also playing, Inzoi, which we just started yesterday. We got Adam Fall,
which we will take a look at the end of the stream. That'll be our closer. We'll look at DSP's robust and meaningful Inzoi experience because it made me laugh really hard while I was getting ready for work the other day.
All that we're continuing. And we got multiplayer games in the mix, like Street Fighter and Call of Duty. Now, later on this month, notably next week, we've got South of Midnight coming out. We've got my birthday marathon coming up. We've got all this stuff. So with all that happening, how on earth am I actually going to juggle Retro React nights? And the answer is, I'm not. I got too much going on right now. Okay?
Too much going on, you guys. I'm too busy.
In the future.
You know, everybody's vying for my
we're not
time.
juggling as many games.
People are asking me to be on their shows. I'm just super busy, you guys. Like, when does this guy ever claim that he's not busy? Well, okay, let me rephrase that. How does this guy go from one day saying he's super busy, he can't find time to do anything, no time to make, new streams, Retro React this or Lego stream that, but every time he gets on stream, he'll tell you how fucking lame all of the games that are coming out are, how nobody's interested in them, and they're not making money like they're supposed to, yada, yada, yada. How does he go from those two things back to back like that? I don't get it.
Right? Then we could say,
Yo,
all right, let's bring back the Retro React stuff. Or
stream.
maybe for a while, instead of doing indie games, which we've actually very much enjoyed, right? We've really enjoyed doing these indie nights.
And thank you, Iviga,
scale back on the
for
indie
sending
stuff,
your people here.
and then take those nights to actually go do Retro React, right? Because I just can't do everything at once. It's just not possible. So let's see what happens, all right? But for now, I liked doing Throwback. I think it was a great channel. I want to say thanks to anyone who watched the videos, who contributed to the channel with super thanks, who actually attended the live streams and supported, and anyone who actually
all
was
the
a paid sub
guards
over there.
that paid for all of the memberships over there. You got fucking played for months and months, and you probably wound up auto-paying for a channel that was dead for months and months after. So, get dunked on.
That's really nice.
And big ups Battleborn, NDN, for the 5. Very robust and cool. Saying big ups to the 60 skulls. Well, big ups to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm making $40 a month on the channel. It's not worth the insane amount of work that was going into it at this point. The whole posterity project technically was completed last year, and we just kind of extended it. But at this point, it's not necessarily necessary, right? It's just kind of an optional thing. It's nice to be able to do it as a side project. Like I said, it's kind of like my passion project, but it's not anything that's really panning out to be anything too important at this point. So for now,
the passion project has been left abandoned for what, 3 months now? What a passion he has. Am I right, folks? Everybody that has passion for their hobbies and their interests, of course, they just ignore them for 3 months straight and don't bring them up or work on them at all. Obviously, that's how passion works. Stupid.
DSP Throwback is on hiatus. Later this year, I am planning on doing Retro React. If at all you feel like it would be a good time to do it and you have an idea what should be the next playthrough we do for Retro React, let me know. We originally were thinking Fallout 3, but that was many months ago, and maybe things have changed, okay? Powerhouse Gaming, as I just said, it's on hiatus. He says, will the current playthroughs be finished? It's on hiatus. There's no one to do it. The people who are working on it are gone.
But
so
wait,
there's no...
I thought he was working on it. What happened to all of that nonsense? We can't even finish the fucking playthrough that we have actively going right now? We can't even bother? Like, this is exactly what I'm saying. It's everything that he says 5 minutes from now completely contradicts everything that he said 5 minutes before. It's just the way that the DSP cycle works. Like, it works on a grand scale as he continuously goes through the same arcs and the same storylines and the same lessons, never actually learning. But it also works on the micro scale where 5 minutes from now, he'll contradict everything that he said. And we're gonna do that for the rest of the stream until we change subjects, and then we just do it to a different subject. It's absolutely insane.
one to finish the playthroughs, no. Right now, it's completely frozen. It may resume in the future, but as of now, no, the work is frozen, and it may or may not ever continue. Okay? There you go.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it in correct beans. Never learning, in fact, unlearning is
All
true.
right, I hope that explains things. Cool. All right, we have many other topics to talk about, but our first contribution of the day has come in.
I left this on
It is
the
a
end.
$2
What is
tip.
it?
It's just an idiot, so I'm just going to ignore them.
All right. I'm glad I left that
People
in.
are so fucking stupid, it's hilarious. Anyway, here's the funniest part. You ready? How you expose stupidity and just nonsense from morons who are
I remember why I left this in now.
mouth droolers. These idiots actually think this is a female crown, except this is the same style of crown that Jerry the King Lawler used in WWE forever.
Right.
It is a universal crown that was worn in England and other European countries for many years. It's not a female crown. You're just a moron. You know
that one specifically, the plastic one from Amazon, that's specifically the crown that was used in England all those years ago? Okay. And I thought we were going to ignore this stupid idiot fucking troll. What happened to that?
No, also like when I wear my white cardigan sweater and people are like, that's a women's sweater.
No, it looks like it looks like a woman's sweater 100%.
Just a brain dead idiot. You hyper obsess over dumb shit and you turn it into farces and you talk about it like it's a fact. It's not. That's in your little pea brain where you believe that because you're an ignorant moron.
Okay.
Anyway,
So you guys are confirming that is in fact a female's crown. I'm gonna be honest, the specifics of it do not matter to me. Whether or not it's a female crown or a male crown does not actually make a difference, because if you tell DSP it's a female crown, you get the response anyway. And that's one of the things that he seems to have never really learned from being on the internet as long as he has. It doesn't actually matter what you fucking say to this guy. You can just get the reaction whether you're lying or not. You just have to play your cards right. And by that, I mean, catch him at the right time, in the right mood, on the right stream, and you get what you want. This is why, like, troll tipping is so fucking stupid. Because you could just say whatever you want, whenever you want, and there's a chance that you're going to get a reaction for free. It just takes time and dedication if you're willing to put it in. But that's the end of that clip. This guy's obviously felted and stupid because he doesn't know shit about crowns, obviously. And speaking of felted, that takes us right into our next segment, because it would not be a week with DSP if we did not cry a little bit more about the Keno Casino. So we're just going to move right into that.
Let's get our first super chat of the day. Let's get our first gifted sub of the day. Let me tell you, on Kick, support has dwindled massively. Okay? Why has support dwindled? Because all of the casino simps ran back to the casino to suck on their dicks all day instead of actually watching meaningful content. I can't stop that. Okay?
Still waiting for a definition of meaningful content. If anybody could give me one at any point, that would be great. I believe that the closest thing that DSP has given us is content that doesn't hurt other people, but I'm not quite sure what hurt necessarily defines out to either. Because if you ask me, weird internet bullshit like this does not hurt because we're on the internet and it's fake.
Can't. Literally a bunch of people who just do whatever they're told, have no independent thought whatsoever, and would rather watch two life losers sitting there ringing dinner bells and screaming about drama than actual like gameplay content or just hanging out having a good time. You know, so you know what? More power to them, but that
but they do gameplay content, don't they? He specifically told Andy that it's so cool they get to that he plays games at night and still has an audience. They do actually do gameplay content at the end. So we're just blatantly lying and misrepresenting what the truth is. That sounds great. That sounds awesome, dude.
It was just a lot of people who were here and were supporting the Kick channel, and they're gone, and they're not going to come
Brennan,
back.
thank you so much. That means a lot, obviously.
I really wish that more people would be.
Yeah, they were gaming soulmates, but now they don't do gaming content. They don't make meaningful content at all. Like, you see how the script completely flips 180 once DSP's done with his little grift. You see how he just pulls the fucking sheet out from everybody whenever he sees fit. But it's everybody else that's negative and mean to him, right? It's everybody else that's the problem, that lashes out at him and wants to abuse him and take advantage. But it's DSP that is constantly flipping on everybody and making enemies. Sound good?
Be open-minded and say, you know, I can like this, but I can also like this. I don't have to only like one or the other or like this because I'm told by this group to like this. You can have a brain. You can be independent. You can think for yourself and you can support what you like. But sadly, a lot of people just aren't like that. They just want to be led in life like sheep through a pasture by a fucking herder. That's all they want, to be told what to do. Please tell me how to live, right? So,
but and this might be unique to this specific type of content, right? But if you watch drama content creators and you watch people talk shit about whatever podcast or whatever other content creator, why would you go and then continue to watch and support that content creator if you're enjoying all of the negative things that are being said and all of the critiques? If you think that they're accurate and humorous and true, why would you go and support that terrible content that you also love to make fun of? It just doesn't quite make sense to me, right? You enjoy the Kino content because the other content is fucking terrible. You don't support bad content. It seems pretty straightforward, but in DSP's piggy brain, it must be all sorts of flipped around.
the Kick support has dwindled massively. All right, it would be great if today we could get some support on Kick. It is the final day of the month, so it would count, and I would, get credit for it right away. All right, please consider becoming a sub or gifting some subs over on Kick if you like the content and you like the fact that I stream there, despite the fact that most of the support has left. Okay. So,
all right. Big kick.
Thank you in advance. But like I said, let's get our first super chat of the day. Let's get our first member of the day. We haven't gotten any of those right now, and I would appreciate that support. Okay.
All right.
I received a $2 tip. There's a gun in the office. That's right. That is a game that we talked about yesterday.
I don't give a fuck about that.
It's called,
I don't
there's
care
a gun
about
in
the
the
game.
office where you are
I knew this was coming. Get him out of here.
By, like a criminal in a game. Maybe we could check that out during my birthday marathon. Yeah, we'll see. That's actually a good suggestion. Okay.
The real good suggestion was getting DSP to play Schedule 1 on his birthday. That's about the only game that he's going to be playing that I actually care about. If you haven't played Schedule 1 yet, it is pretty fun. I think it's a shorter-lived experience if you play games efficiently, but it is fun for what it is. Which I said earlier was not a compliment, but it is in this instance. Deal with it. All right. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay. At any point we could just say.
All right. Sorry,
anything.
I got distracted. I was trying to read what a bunch of idiots were saying on Kick, and I banned a bunch of morons. Because here's the thing: a lot of people seem to think that because content is meaningful, because content is positive, it can't be entertaining. That's completely false. Would I be successful if people didn't find my content entertaining?
Yes.
No. Here's the difference.
Oh, okay. DSP has been successful, quote unquote, in the fact that he lives and pays his bills sometimes, right? He's been successful for 17 years straight with a declining audience the entire time. So tell me exactly how DSP wouldn't be successful if his content wasn't entertaining, right? Like, why would people be leaving if the content was entertaining? Like, if you could just riddle me that one, that'd be fantastic. Because I've had that question for a very long time, but he seems to have the answer, and he's just not giving it to us.
A lot more younger, immature, very disrespectful, very immoral people on this planet than there are people who are older, more mature, more positive, and who actually want to do something meaningful with their time.
So old people are the only people that are capable of doing something meaningful and positive with their time. Young people are essentially banned in the shadow realm of committing negative acts. Sound good? Sounds good to me. This sounds like ageism, DSP. Sounds like you're hating on the youth in your old age, which is shameful.
Get it? I know, because I used to be like that too when I was young.
Yeah. What does he have to say about ALT, who's been around as long as the fucking sun? Okay, you would think that he would do nothing but positive acts, but he makes fun of DSP all the same. You guys got a great point. I didn't even think of that old man yet.
I was an idiot, and I constantly thought about trolling and hating on this person and dumping on this person and bullying people. And I've grown out of that because I'm now an older, more mature person who understands what's actually valuable in life. When you're young, you don't see that. Get it? You don't. You just think that everything's fine. Who cares about the consequences? No morals, no values. Get by any means necessary. Grab that bag no matter who gets hurt. Step on everyone. Keep going forward. And as long as you make out and you get a profit, who gives a shit about anything else?
Well, I think, you know what it actually, I think it is? I think it's that younger people typically, and I'm going to talk out of my ass here for a second. I think that younger people understand that the internet is not real life. I think that that's what the case is. I think younger people just get it, and it is the internet, and it's fake. It's made up nonsense. You can go outside at any point and not have to engage with it. I don't think the DSP as a boomer style understands that.
That's Kino Casino. You want to know how I know that? Because that's what PPP said to me, literally word for word. He said, all of your supporters are basically just disposable people. You're not their friends. They're not your friends. You don't have to ever care about them. All they are a way to fill your pockets. They're your whales. They're your funding. That's it. And you just step on them and you keep going. That's how they operate over there. That's not me. That's never going to be me. Because that's not who I am as a person. That's not who I am as a creator. So when everyone looks at me and laughs at me and says, oh, your content isn't successful because it's not entertaining, I say, actually, my content is entertaining, but it's just too fucking smart for you, you dunce mouth jeweler. You'd rather go to a channel with a big overweight dude screaming at the top of his lungs, literally ringing a dinner bell.
It's a triangle. It's just a triangle. He keeps saying dinner bell. It is literally just a triangle. And I love that he's still running with the idea that PPP was nothing but truthful and transparent and honest with him over all of those months when he claims that both sides were actively trying to snake each other and lie to each other in order to get one over and try and make content. It's just so silly to try and weave this tale this way anymore. PPP could have told you that you should jump off a bridge and slam your head into a window, and that would have made you productive. He would have been lying to you, right? It really is that simple. Why are we still acting as though everything he said was factually fucking based?
You would attract small children in a field. Hey, it's dinner time, everyone, right? This is what he does. And he sits there bullying people on the internet who don't know who they are, who don't have anything to do with them, but they just sit there bullying them all day for personal gain. And the people who watch the content eat it up because they're mentally deficient. That's the kind of people who enjoy that content. Mentally deficient people who have no morals, no values, don't realize what they're doing, not only is incredibly harmful to people, but also a waste of your time.
But why is it a waste of your time to be informed on other people that you couldn't bother actually taking the real time out to watch? And I've said this before. I'm not the biggest Kino fan there is. I'm not the biggest Kino hater there is. I think that their clips are digestible because they cut out the begging and whatnot. I'm not going to go watch fucking iDubbbz' podcast. I think it's terrible. I think he's incredibly unlikable and really a shame to what happened to him, right? But I'm not going to go and watch his raw stuff. I'm going to watch Kino make fun of him, and I'm going to be informed on all of the antics that iDubbbz is up to, and I'm going to move on positively with my life, knowing that I didn't have to sit through multiple hours of terrible iDubbbz content, right? It's just the way that it works. I'm actually saving time, believe it or not. Whatever.
That's what you don't get. If I can make a living doing positive content,
they pause videos too much. Me too. We're in the same boat in that category, actually.
That is infinitely more meaningful to this planet and to humanity as a whole than someone who got a laugh and got a bunch of money, but they hurt people to do it. Don't you see the difference? And the thing is, many of you won't. You're going to get older one day, and you're going to hit an age where you're going to realize time is limited, time is valuable. Every moment that you have, every breath that you take is one less that you have on this planet, and eventually you're going to run out of time. And when you get to that age and you start to see mortality, you start to see the human condition around you. Your family members are getting older and getting sick and starting to pass away. And people who used to idolize are no longer with you. And, you know, beloved things of your life are changing for the worse. And you see all this happening around you. When you're not in your 20s and you think that the sky is the limit and you know, who cares who you hurt, your whole mindset will change.
Who you know, coming out of their 20s is just now understanding you know, the mortality and that people die and that you have a limited amount of time on this earth or whatever he's going on about. Who needs that? Who's living life not understanding these core concepts that is existence? I'm confused as to who needs this pep talk and what actual difference that makes when it comes to, again, making fake internet content. I'm not convinced that it ever needed to be said, and I don't know that that's the problem. I'm seeing Jade, actual children. Yeah, and that is his audience, so I guess I'm being a little unfair here. Maybe they did need that talk. But I think that all detractors understand that there's a limited amount of time, and they make their content within that limited amount of time while doing their other stuff. It's just, it's a weird projection, right?
That's exactly what happened to me.
But because 100%. It happened to DSP, because he was stupid, because he didn't understand that one day that he was going to die until well into his 20s, because he didn't understand that life is limited and there's only so much time. That must be the case for every other young person, right? They're just as ignorant as he is. Newsflash, DSP, I've been working since I was 13 years old, and I've never not had a job. It's just the way that it had to be. I don't think that I needed anybody to tell me that there was a limited amount of time. Not in the day, not in the month, not in my life. It's just, I got that. I been knew that.
I changed as a person. I became a better individual. Now I don't want to be associated with toxic, hateful stuff. I don't. I just want to be me. All right. And so it's sad because there's so many people on the internet, all right, that just don't get it. They just think that, oh, everything is just, you know, I'm going to live forever and everything's fine. Hurt everyone, bully everyone. Oh, it's so funny. It's not. The only people who think it's funny are dumb people. But let's be honest, there's tons of dumb people.
Tons
Why
of
do you
dumb
think
people.
there's
I
so
agree
many
with that. Real.
morons on this planet? The fucking Paul brothers, are you kidding me? Why would anyone ever listen to a word they ever said? Because they're dumb too. You know, but that's the human condition, right?
But that's such a boomer mindset, because you could find celebrities, or if you wanted to call them influencers back then, you wouldn't have, but you could now, right? But there's celebrities and influencers and famous people that were always a bad influence, that were always stupid. And I look back in history and think, why would anybody ever listen to these people? You're meaning to tell me these rock stars are literally talking about sleeping with underage girls at shows, and you listen to this music and support it? That's crazy work, brother. Turn that shit the fuck off. I'm not trying to hear all that. That's disgusting. But they did it anyway, and they should be ashamed about it. But man, it's just such a boomer mindset to think that only new celebrities on the internet specifically are a bad influence. It's wild work.
So as I get older and I get wiser and I look at the whole situation, it's just a shame. All right, it is. But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like what's going to happen is what happens all the time. People will get older and realize, oh crap, well, I wasted all this time, and you know, people tried to warn me and people tried to tell me, but I didn't listen because I was young and I can't possibly be wrong in what I'm doing. I'm smarter than everyone and I know better. And you get older and you realize you just weren't that smart and you weren't that wise and you were an idiot. You know, I look back at my days in the Street Fighter community when I was a troll in that community and how bad I was to everyone in it and how I regret that now, but I can't go back and change it. You know, now.
Okay, but nobody thought you were funny or charismatic, and nobody liked you, and you actively made a negative name for yourself. Meanwhile, everybody that makes fun of DSP or these influencers that he doesn't particularly care for, they have, you know, money and success and friends and families and business ventures, and they have hobbies and things that they're passionate about. Like, that's the difference between all of the people that he's complaining about and him when he was in the Street Fighter community. He was actually a menace that nobody fucking liked. Meanwhile, everybody that he complains about is infinitely likable and has nothing but positive people surrounding them. The real reason he's jealous.
It's a whole new generation, only you're not even doing it in person. You're
Yeah, and the legend Jaha is here in the chat.
Pussy, making fun of someone from across the world, ringing your fucking dinner bell like the Pied Piper of retards, bringing them all to the table to throw you money.
Shout out the Pied Piper of retards. Okay, his words, it's not mine.
So anyway,
I wonder how he would feel if the detractors were out here saying that type of thing about him before this happened, obviously. Because he would have fucking flipped his lid and talked about how the detractors are psychopaths that are bullying his fans. I mean, you guys remember when he said we called them dense and he had a fucking big explosion about it? Yeah, he would do that cringe. But again, shout out M. Bode for the 5 months. I'm a god. And thank you, Movie Sign, for the 10 gifted. That's crazy. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Bode said he was never a troll. He was the seething ass blasted bitch. True. And I think that's probably the better way to call it. He was never a troll. Trolling requires humor or, you know, an actual setup that is intelligent of some sort to get a reaction. DSP just pissed people off and then they would hate him and ignore him regularly. Congratulations, Phil.
That's what's going on
Successful
on the Kick side
troll
of things.
op.
You know, most people who are watching me on the Kick side of things were casino viewers, and now that the casino is so anti-DSP, right? Why? Because I dared to tell them, no, I'm not going to do your garbage drama content. I'm not going to have Steve Cambion from fucking Truth Seekers be my evil villain co-part, and we're going to do gaming challenges against each other. What the fuck are you talking about? It sounds like something a 4-year-old came up with, and this is what you want me to do, and you're forcing me to do, because I don't want to do it, but you're still having me do it anyway. So I got the fuck out of there. I cut the cord. They can't stand that because they wanted to be in power. Get it? They wanted to be the power in the situation. They thought that they were going to be the puppet masters controlling this weird lolcow universe, trying to copy what Keemstar has done with his content. That's exactly what PPP wanted. He wanted
He wanted to make content that would make him money. I mean, yeah, he did want a lolcow style setup, obviously, and he's confirmed as much on his own Twitter and his own content. But the overall is that he wanted to make money off of the work that he was putting in dealing with DSP. That's why when things weren't coming together, when DSP was refusing to do pretty much anything, PPP started throwing shit at the wall to see what would stick. Can I get him to do this? Will he agree to do this? It really was an issue if you believe what PPP says about working with DSP or read some of the DMs. So I think that's a totally normal thing for PPP to want or to expect out of DSP when he did spend all of that time trying to hype him up or include him in different events and whatnot, trying to get that ROI, if you will.
To have his own lolcow universe, and it's never going to work because people don't want to work like that.
But Brennan Coe's got a great point. I thought that it was because they disrespected his wife. Well, I also thought that was also the reason that he gave, or one of the reasons that he gave. But I noticed that it sorely was lacking in this instance.
Don't want to be PPP's puppet, you know? It's just ridiculous. And I got out of there, and that's why they hate me. So they're going to sit there and they're going to dump on me every day, and I don't give a shit. All right, I haven't seen a single piece of it. I don't even know what they're saying. I don't care.
But he's addressing it anyway.
People can't judge for themselves and say, hey, well, Phil is completely different. That's why he left. That's why he did what he did. Well, I was watching his content, and actually it was pretty good. Or maybe you just, you thought it was something different, and you like to stick around and hang out and support it. Well, I'm seeing more and more. I'm getting lots of support on the YouTube side, which I very much appreciate. It's keeping me afloat.
Cool,
it's keeping
Vince.
stuff going
Very
well.
cool.
I'm hitting my goals. But on the Kick side, stuff is just completely dwindling. And it's sad because I worked hard to make that co-streaming work.
I worked hard to make co-streaming work by literally just setting up an account on the other site and streaming to it as well, which is as simple as it is. But sure, DSP, sure. I also really enjoy that he just insinuates that people aren't making up their own minds when it comes to his content simply because the Kino Casino switched over. Has he ever thought that maybe they had already made up their mind about the content, hence why they watched Kino Casino in the first place, because they also agreed that his content was fucking terrible, and that they were only ever there because of the Kino Casino? Have we ever thought about that? No, of course not. Of course not, because that would of course imply that you can find his content bad, which is not true, of course.
Implemented all these
How could
changes.
you think the guy makes bad content?
I want the Kick
it's
stuff
great
to work, and I feel like
it's the best.
The more that I work at it, and if I keep trying to persevere and stream on Kick, that things will grow and get better, but it's just a bunch of time and effort. And that's the sad fact, is things take time. There was a temporary insane boost because of the casino stuff, and now that that's over, now it's going to take a lot of time and dedication and work to make it work on another platform. For those who are still here, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. But man, it would be great if you could actually support, because I was getting tons of support from Kick every month, and it looks like pretty much overnight it's gone. And there's nothing I can really do about that.
Nothing
Right?
I could do except have actually made the content that people wanted to see with the people that I was collabing with. That's what you could have done to do that, but nothing we could do. Throw our hands up, obviously.
It's not in my control.
I'm a firm believer that regardless of what happens to you in life, at some point there was a decision that was made, there was a choice that you partook in, and eventually down the line, it led you to where you are. So I've never been a big fan of nothing I could do, literally throwing your fucking hands up and walking away, right? Actually playing the victim. So especially in this instance where DSP was directly responsible for finally, shutting it all down. This idea that there was nothing that I could do is absolutely insane. 100% a fucking lie.
It was a distinct decision by PPP to do what he did.
I think DSP obviously lacks any sort of accountability and refuses to take responsibility with anything. And that's one of his most egregious, features. And this is a perfect example of exactly that.
Plan. Everyone knows that. It was always his plan that he was going to turn on me. He was either going to fully control me and use me for personal gain, despite the fact that I didn't want to do that kind of content, or he was going to turn on me to get personal gain. So it was either personal gain via this way that hurts Phil, or personal gain via this way that hurts Phil. That was his plan all along, because he had no creativity in his fucking brain. He has none. He couldn't think of any good ideas. Just nothing up there. Vapid hay. So, it is what it is.
But what about Smart Guys and how we revived that and made money off of that? What about the $4,000, $3,000 or whatever we made during the RTU thing, right? Like what happened to all of that? Was that all designed to hurt DSP? And getting profit off of DSP, at least in this instance, is not necessarily a negative to DSP, all the way around. if he would have agreed to have done the content and done it in a way that was respectable to him, right, that follows his moral guidelines or whatever, he probably could have still turned a profit, got more viewers or whatever, and kept the Kino Casino audience. The problem was he wasn't willing to work with any of that. He wasn't willing to make any sort of caveats or meet anybody in the middle to do content that he wasn't 100% comfortable with. Again, this nothing that I could do, they're only out to hurt me mindset, it's just victim mentality.
Okay. So let's
And
do some shout outs.
That's a great point.
Chick-fil-A minute.
Sulfur, sorry, the one below. The Wordplay Dojo. This is coming from the guy who sits and demands that his viewers come up with his ideas. Yes, not only come up with ideas, but ideas for what he's going to play, what the next event is going to be, what he's going to eat for DSP Tries It. Literally every single idea or action that you see on DSP streams was his audience's ideas and not his own. Absolutely.
All right, figure out what we're going to order today.
But Ashton is
I want to talk a little bit about
empty-headed.
Disco
He's
Elysium because I don't know
vapid.
what to do about the game. It's kind of a unique situation I've never really encountered before. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
We've got NVL Roy with our first super chat of the day, $2. King Phil, the casino's overrated. I told you guys since day one. Did I not say this? I said, I can't stand it. I went over there. And even when I was a guest, like I could stand it for maybe like an hour. But after that, it just gives me a fucking headache. It's just the same tired formula. Find someone on the internet that people call a lol cow. Make fun of what they do.
Right.
Scream at the top of your lungs. Ring a bell. Play a slide flute.
Right.
Laugh
Those are the gimmicks
maniacally.
they do.
Okay, on to the next one. On to the next one.
I mean, is that any different from a DSP stream, really? I mean, every streamer has their gimmicks and the bits that you can expect them to do because the audience has grown, you know, attached to them. They like the bit. It's funny. They throw the emotes in chat. Like, I'm not going to say that every bit is good. I do find a lot of bits obnoxious, hence why I don't do them that often. But DSP streams really aren't any fucking different, are they? I mean, we do the same fucking intro every day. We do the same goddamn notifications. We eat food regularly, and it's always terrible the same way. I mean,
It's just the most
not
boring
different,
formula.
man. Yeah, dress up in bubbles for years. Like we're gonna forget all of that and act like we're better. Okay.
But the thing is, you have to see through the bullshit. You have to see through the Pied Piper thing that they put on to realize this is the most boring shit ever. That shit is super boring. But people like drama and making fun of people and bullying, so, oh, it's fun. It's not. It's actually super fucking boring. There's nothing of interest over there. Who cares what Ethan Ralph did today? Who cares what Cog did or Beardson did on a fucking stream? Who cares about Nerds on the Go? Are you fucking kidding me? It's the most boring shit you could possibly make content on. And that's their fucking repertoire. That's what they...
Well, I mean, they bully a lot more people than that, and they fill people in on you know one-off lolcows as well, right? You get a little look into fucking whoever the hell. I can't even think of an example. My bad. But like, again, let's not act like DSP's content is any more entertaining. He plays fucking video games poorly with no commentary the majority of the time. At least they're screaming and excited and passionate about what they're talking about, or at least it seems to be that way. DSP has none of those things. He's not passionate. He doesn't even fucking talk half the time. But again, we're still making better content, of course.
They do all day. Put me to sleep. Give me a pillow.
Also, the idea of it's super boring and they're putting me to sleep while PPP is yelling and ringing a triangle and they're playing slide whistles is kind of absurd to me as well. Those two things don't go hand in hand unless you're actually regarded. Who's
Oh
falling
my
asleep
God.
to Kino clips? Real talk.
Anyway, we've got Javi, Nobody the Hate Monger, with a $2 super chat says, why are you trying to hurt the casino with slander? I'm not trying to hurt the casino with slander. I'm speaking facts. The problem is too many people
I'm speaking facts and literally all opinion based.
don't understand the difference. All I'm doing is factual observations.
This is a
right?
factual observation. Once again, after an entirely opinion based rant.
Jasper Kitty's going crazy. in
I
the
don't
hallway
think
right
that
now.
he
He's going
knows
all
what
over the place,
factual
sliding,
fucking
full of
means
energy.
at this point.
Okay.
He's pigmatized his own definition of factual. All right, now to go back in silence while we read the chat, of course. Also, I don't know how fucking stupid you have to be to actually, like, watch his head while he reads chat. What mongoloid is moving their head side to side while reading chat? Look at this. What is... Move your
Of course.
eyes,
And
brother.
Tunes of $2 and says, crazy how certain chatters appear so upset that you would say anything about the casino right now, but then I see those same names hyping them up when they shit on you on their streams. Amazing bias. Of course. Do you think I give a shit about what those idiots say? I don't care what people, oh, how dare you say something about the casino? No, how dare they? How dare they fuck with me?
Sure. Whatever. Moving
Like,
past the
I don't have the
cringe.
right to say anything back, but they have the right to uncontrollably just say what they want, right? Now, fuck you. Anyway.
We've entered siege mode. Dude, we're pissed. And this is why the casino clips, like, they're not the most exciting thing on the planet, but he's just so visually uncomfortable and frustrated. Like, and it gets progressively worse as he rants and rants. It's so funny to watch, dude.
Someone tipped $2 and says, are you going to bring back the old rewards? No, the old rewards were phased out for a reason. Long before I ever dealt with Keno Casino, it was my idea to phase out tiered rewards of glasses and fucking hat and vest. It's stupid. All right,
It's
to be honest
stupid.
with you. The glasses, the hat, and the vest are all stupid. They are. They were dumb ideas. The vest was something that happened out of nowhere.
And I think it's very important to point out right there that he said those were dumb ideas. Not they are dumb ideas now, you know, retroactively, of course. They were dumb ideas. They've always been dumb ideas then. So DSP was putting on the fucking glasses and the hat and the vest, and the whole time that he thought it was stupid. He was like, this is a dumb fucking gimmick. I hate that they asked for this. I don't want to do it. And you very clearly saw that in the content when he was basically refusing to fucking give people the rewards that they paid for regularly because it was too hot. Oh, I don't want to wear this stupid bandana during Street Fighter 6. It's getting in the way, you guys. It's just so disrespectful to fucking have a goal and then think that it's stupid. And not want to do it the entire time when people are actually interested in it and hyping it up and want to see it. It's crazy, man. Just have a little bit of fucking respect for your audience is all I ask.
Okay, literally out of nowhere. It was never planned, all right, at all. And it just virally worked. People liked having the vest. People talked about it in other places. It led to a
he
crazy
essentially
streak
did
of
sell his
support.
body to the dens, which you're not going to get other, like, again, other content creators will literally like not literally sell their body in that way, you know, but they will do stunts and gimmicks and this, that, and the other that are actually more effort. They're more time consuming. They're more elaborate and they have a far better time doing it. DSP can't even be bothered to put on a fucking hat for his audience. He's actually pissed and perturbed that they would bother to ask him to put on a hat live on stream. It's an insane mindset when they're paying his bills regularly and have allowed him to live his life of sin in his snort fort, completely isolated with his fat ass wife for so long. To disrespect them this way is crazy.
It was absolutely unexpected and out of control. Okay.
Jerma is the gold standard of doing things for his viewers. 100%. That guy's so fucking funny.
Listen,
not a Jerma stand by any means, but every clip I see of him, it's nothing but comedy.
Dude, I want to dress up in normal clothes. I want to relax and have a good time with my audience. I don't want to have to be playing dress up and blowing bubbles and doing dumb shit. You know, we want to build to awesome rewards like, hey, let's do a special stream event. Hey, let's do a marathon. Hey, let's do this. Let's order some special meal and you can do a taste test together. That's something different than, oh, let's dress up every stream like an idiot. Okay. I'm not going back to the old things. All right. I'm just not. I'm not going back to the old ways. We're on to the new. Once you move on to the new, you keep moving forward. You don't go back. Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, okay. Well, since he said that, I'm gonna remember. Okay, I'm gonna remember where we're at in this clip. We're 1759 in. Okay, because I didn't plan on playing this, but since he mentioned it, I am gonna go ahead and pull it up here because he said that we don't go back, right? We only move forward positively. We don't bring back old shit. We just got to move forward, right? So then we have the April Fool's cold opening.
Alrighty, everyone. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 podcast.
Where we go back
for April 1st, 2025.
And I'm just gonna let it play
from a brand new location that you may recognize because, ladies and gentlemen, it is right. I have returned back to my roots. I have moved back to the condo in Connecticut. You guys have been telling me recently, Phil, what happened to the old DSP? What happened to the king of hate? What happened to the guy who would just rant and rave about anything, attack all his enemies on the internet, have irreverent commentary, completely over the top, film with a camera pointed at the TV, only making 10-minute long videos, uploading 60 videos a day, not live streaming, but instead just throwing insane amounts of content onto the internet every single day in, day out. The guy who would travel and go to tournaments, to conventions, to actually meet his fans and spend time with them. What happened to the old Phil? We're very upset with you because you've changed over the last decade. You've changed over the last 17 years that you've been a creator. We want the old DSP back. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, it's time for a change. I'm giving you what you want. As you can see, I'm back. The old setup has been restored. You asked me, what happened to all of those models and things that you used to have? Well, they were just here in storage all along, and now I've brought them out, and it is time to return back to my roots. In fact, this is no joke or prop. It's the Stein, the actual king of hate Stein. That's right. It's back, baby. So, it's definitely time. First of all, let me tell you something. Tobuscus, you son of a bitch, you better get those goddamn Madden ads off of my videos. I've had enough of your shit. Who do you think you are? And for any female viewers that are watching this right now, I want you immediately to do one thing for me. Take your goddamn top off. All right. So now we're back to business. Now we're back to the way things used to be around here, right? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today's Tuesday, and we've got a great lineup for you today.
And that was one day after we said that we don't go back. We just got to continue to move forward positively. Now, I do have to say about that clip, which, again, I had no intention of actually showing. I had decided before I started streaming it wasn't worth the time. I do have to say that joke could have been funny if he would have actually have leaned into the divorce bit. Had he told everybody that it's, you know, not telling them that it's April Fool's, but done an April Fool's joke where he insinuates that he is actually divorced now. He's moved back to the Connecticut condo. He's brought all of the statues out of retirement that, yes, he had the entire time. That could have actually have been a funny joke. That would have made somebody out there laugh.
Okay, let's get our first super chat.
We told the bitches to take their tops off, and that was kind of the end of the joke, I guess. Sound good? Sounds good to me, but we're not going back anymore. Came right back into a sip, obviously.
Okay.
And then into silence. This is my bad, I guess. I should have cut the silence.
Let's see here. We
out.
have Cyrax Groiper, who became a sub over on Kick. Thank you to Cyrax Groiper for our first sub of the day.
Holy shit, man.
I don't really know what Groiper means. I think it has something to do with political stuff, right? I don't know. It sounds bad to
DSP not familiar with Nick Fuentes.
Term?
Another person that the Kino Casino regularly covers that DSP would be more informed on if he had just watched the actual content that the casino was putting out when he was working with them. But that would require him to be familiar with the people that he works with, which obviously is outside of the realm of possibility.
Groiper? Like it's a group on the internet or whatever? I don't even know. I'm lost. It sounds weird to me. It sounds like groper. Like you're going to grope someone. You're going to like grab their ball sack or something. It doesn't sound good to me. It doesn't. I don't find any positive association with the word groiper.
Then look it up. Like if he's that concerned about it, if he's wondering, literally Google
it's a
it.
reference to a bad word, is it? It means a racist or an anti-Semitic? Does it? Well, then there you go.
Anti-Semitic?
So
which is obviously how that word is said.
Well, we'll do Cyrax G then. That's why I asked, because I had no idea what it meant. I have no clue. I'm ignorant to this nonsense. Cyrax the rapper did a $2 super chat and says, PPP acts like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Dude, did you see his reaction? All right. He says to me multiple times over the course.
Demi Fiend, thank you so much for the 2. Before DSP gets started on this, do I have any thoughts on the Switch 2 issues? Not really. No, I'm not a Switch guy. I wouldn't pay for one regardless. Or I'm not a Nintendo guy typically. I wouldn't pay for one regardless. $80, $90 for games is crazy. The expansion slot costing as much as it does, like the micro SDs, is crazy. Having a physical button that you can't use without paying for online monthly is kind of crazy if you ask me. I would just get a Steam Deck at that point and play Steam games like it's a Switch, personally. But again, I'm not a Nintendo guy. I don't care particularly for those IPs more than other ones. So
several months. Hey man, so
I don't buy games at full price anyway. So
and I said things that were inflammatory and insulting to you and your wife, and I'm sorry.
Thank you for the 2, though. I really appreciate it.
And I wouldn't blame you if you want to break off all contact with the casino. You know, that's your call. You know, and it's fine. So after him doing this multiple times, I break off all contact with the casino and I kick him off my show, Smart Guys, and he immediately snaps and turns into like a spurned ex-girlfriend. Literally sending me, you F word, you F this, F that, even though literally a week or 2 weeks before he had said, oh, I owe you big time for this favor you did going on Steve's show. He immediately says, oh, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you any favors. You F, ungrateful F. The guy's nuts. The guy's fucking nuts. He doesn't actually.
I love that almost 3 weeks detached, or is it 4 weeks at this point? I don't even fucking know. Since we've left the Kino Casino boat. I love that he still doesn't actually grasp the fact that the switch flipped because they actually didn't fucking like him. He still doesn't understand that weeks detached from the events. Like he still doesn't have the sight for it. It's wild. The guy genuinely doesn't understand situations that he's lived through. So it's no wonder that he lives the way that he does. It's just astonishing, I think, to a normally brained person, to put it the most dented way possible.
Actually understand, the best stuff that we profited from was my idea. It was my idea to reach out and talk to them. It was my idea to have a crossover. It was my idea to do the co-op commentary on the Rich documentary.
Right? Okay, so then why is he playing the victim all of the time? If it was his idea to get involved in all of this and his idea to fucking start this conversation with them, how can we ever justifiably play the fucking victim at the end? That's insane work, dude. You don't get to go and fucking team up and start a war and then cry because you get your ass beat in the war. Because your fucking ally flipped on you. You picked bad allies, dumbass. Now you get fucking felted. I don't know. Again, it's just a victim mentality.
Okay. All that was the biggest stuff we ever did. All right. After that, it was all the ball in their court. So what did they do? Okay, there was one show where I talked with
all the ball in their court.
The guy who owns Kiwi Farms, Josh Moo. Right. After that, it was literally fail. They couldn't do anything. Oh, we can't get this guy. We can't get that guy. This guy's ghosting us. This guy won't do it. But I don't understand. The whole premise of me working with you is that you had all these connections. You had a Rolodex of important people who all wanted to deal with me. And now there was access. And we could do all this great content together. And one by one, they got turned down over and over and over. Literally falling apart. They looked like buffoons. Now, did we talk about...
They looked like buffoons, but the reason that nobody wanted to fucking do the content was because of DSP. Everybody didn't want to work with DSP, but they were the ones that were buffoons. When they were actively in these people's DMs getting like return messages saying that they didn't want to do it, which is further than DSP ever would have fucking made. How many times did DSP try and get into contact with Medicare with no fucking response? Yet the Kino Casino could contact all of these other people and at least get a decline. I think it does actually matter, personally, what they were able to accomplish separately. And then DSP is obviously the one that's down. Thank you, Shade Haxor, for the 5 saying, word through the grapevine is Toothy the Dent got yeeted. Rip Tooth, maybe you should have thicker skin next time. Or are we talking about Cypress TV? Is that Toothy the Dent? I did see that he was missing his teeth during the show. I don't even know how that actually went. I saw a clip of it. It seemed like the most normal style podcast the DSP's ever done. Cypress TV seemed genuine. Not my cup of tea particularly, but that's because I don't give a fuck about wrestling. Did that go poorly? Did the people hate him? I don't know.
About this publicly? Of course not. But that's what was happening behind the scenes.
The dent is crazy.
No clout, no reach, no power. They were a bunch of losers. Now, am I going to sit here and dump on them every day? No. So instead, I just kind of ignored it. And then people were asking me, Phil, why aren't you doing anything with the casino? Why aren't you doing any work with them? Because they can't make anything work. Every idea that they've had has failed. Literally every one. So I'm just sitting around doing my own thing. And then it's like, oh, I don't understand, Phil. I thought you had momentum. Well, I did until they ran out of ideas and had no clout to do anything. So then what ended up happening was, we basically didn't do anything for a long time. And then this year we started Smart Guys. And the only ideas that PPP could come up with was completely change Phil into a drama content creator, which I don't want to do. I don't want to be a villain on the internet. I don't want to start drama and arguments with other people. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
But so can you really blame PPP for trying to do that when this person reached out to him to try and get some sort of clout and recognition in the genre that PPP thrives in? Or at least that's what I would think. If a YouTuber hit me up, which don't do that, don't DM me, and they were like, oh, how do I do this, that, or the other, and I would think that they were trying to get into the Snortex to detract, because why would you hit me up if that's not the case? I don't think that I can blame PPP for that. To try and give DSP that push in the genre that you do, to try and use him to capitalize in the genre that you already do and continue to make money off of the audience that you have, seems like business 101 to me. But sure, he was supposed to, I guess, work with DSP's gameplay. That's a reasonable expectation.
That's funny. Like, it starts off one way, but then basically their own shortcomings, the fact that literally no one actually wants to work with them because no one likes them. They basically have burned every bridge. Everyone knows that they're bad news. Everyone knows that they're a bad association, right? So everyone turns them off. No, we don't want to do.
Yet they have more guest hosts than DSP does on a regular basis. Sounds make sense? You're following, you're tracking? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
So now what do you do? Oh, I guess we got to build our own lolcow universe, copying Keemstar. So let's have DSP and Steve Cambion and others be part of our lolcow universe, and we'll all go at each other with staged drama. If I had known that's what they were going to want to do from day one, I never would have got ever involved. But that's what they degraded to. That's all they could do. They don't have any power to do anything. They suck. You know?
And Snood said it in chat. Everyone told DSP that this is exactly how they work. If you watch their content, you know who they are, you know where their morals stand, you know what they're willing to do on stream in order to get a laugh, to get a rise, to get under these people's skin and to make their money and make their audience, you know, happy with the content that they get. They told him this from the fucking beginning, and yet he still went out of his way to contact them, to want to do content with them. So again, it is all on him. This was all his decision making. If he had never gotten into contact with them on his own volition, we would have never have done this arc. We would have never have been having these complaints. This was 100% DSP's own doing. Because it didn't live up to his expectations doesn't mean shit. Sometimes that's the world that you live in, and that's what you have to deal with. DSP should have figured that out by now, considering that he's so old and he's so wise, as he stated earlier in these videos. You know, maybe one day when he gets older, he'll finally realize that there's limited time and he's gonna die and this, that, and the other.
Let's see. Jalen did a $5 super chat. I'm riding with you till the wheels fall off. You're entertaining and I love your content. Well, thank you, Jalen.
Well, you're a fucking guard, dude.
I really wish I didn't have this frog in my throat today, but I think it's allergies because everything's starting to boom
wish I had this frog in my throat.
And I get bad allergies when that happens, so my throat was like gunked up today. Cyrex the Rapper did a $2 super chat. PPP insults your wife because he wants to be here. I don't know about that. I will say this. I feel bad because I know the guy is lonely as shit. Seriously. Lonely as shit. 100% lonely as hell. The guy has no friends. Okay, just being honest. He has no real friends. He's messaging me in the middle of the night. It's like 1 a.m. for me. And I'm like getting ready for bed. Do you know what time it is for him? He's East Coast. It's like 4 a.m. The dude's fucking messaging me in the middle of the night.
Right.
He wants me to fly out to Florida to go to a bar to see Hulk Hogan. What are you talking about? No, I have no desire to do that.
He's talking about making content probably right after he turned the stream off, because they stream until like 4 or 5 in the fucking morning. Like every time we talk about the Kino Casino, we go through the same fucking points. He was messaging me way early in the fucking morning. Yeah, that's literally when he's done doing his fucking job. You don't have to respond at 4 in the morning or at 1 in the morning your time or whatever it is. You could just respond tomorrow. It's not that big a deal.
I'm happily married. I don't want to fly to Florida to spend time with you. Like, what are you talking about, dude? It's just very bizarre. Again, you know, I've never been in that life situation. So maybe I just...
Also incredibly cringe to say I cannot travel and hang out with people or I can't go outside of my house because I'm happily married. That sounds like a hostage situation. That sounds like the type of thing that needs a wellness check. Don't do that. That's not a call to action. Please don't do that. That's cringe and gay. But it definitely sounds sad. It definitely sounds against his will. But sure.
I don't understand. But, you know, it's just weird. I feel like he really does feel like I betrayed him, even though he doesn't understand that I was happily married. I mean, I am happily married. I'm not looking for a close
happily
friend
married
to hang out with. I certainly don't need to fly to Florida to spend time at a bar with someone. Okay? It's weird shit. It is like, you know, again, like it felt like he was attaching himself to me in this friendly way. I was like, nah, I just wanted to do some work with you so that we could actually like make money and do fun stuff together and we'd benefit. And then their ideas just flopped and flopped and flopped. It's like, damn, this sucks. I was open to suggestions as long as it didn't mean that it changes everything I am on the internet. You know what I mean? Weird. But no, I don't think he wanted to be my wife, but I really do feel like he had like you know, he doesn't have any friends.
No, he didn't want to be DSP's wife. You wanted to be his husband, dumbass.
Right?
Pretty straightforward if you ask me. And you notice how we keep on like milking this. Like I know people are sending in money to talk about it or whatever, but like these are those kind of troll donations, these troll tips that DSP should be ignoring, that he should be moving forward positively, you know, on that he shouldn't be addressing on a stream. He should be getting into the gameplay, right? Because that's what the people show up for, is meaningful content. Yet we continue to do this on a regular basis. But we don't do drama streams. We don't want to do that. We just want to live on our island and do our own thing.
That's what I thought. Okay, so this Groiper term, it's a term for Nick Fuentes' white nationalist fan base. Basically, it means that you're a racist. Okay. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't sure. I didn't understand. That's why I asked. Okay.
He wasn't sure.
Gotcha.
He thought it was something like that. That's why he asked, but he wasn't going to look it up, and he has been putting it up on his leaderboard regularly for quite a while now. I'm going to say at least a week I've heard the name Cyrax Groiper, but that's okay.
Thanks for the tip.
So we had an inkling, but we never, just like Derek, we never really looked into it to solve the problem. We were just going to let that continue.
Dave Davey did a $2 super chat. He says, why won't you say this to their face? Because I'm not going to ever be a part of their content ever again. I'm not going to go on their show. What are you, retarded? Why would I ever give them another moment of time? If I'm going to say this, it'll be in my content, so I benefit, I get the views, I get the boost. I'm not going to give them anything ever again. They don't deserve it. What did they do to deserve more of my time? You're out of your mind.
As he sits on his own stream, derailing his own content in order to talk about them, not understanding that as people clip this and as this goes on the internet, the algorithm picks up Kino Casino more and more, only furthering their name. But it's okay, DSP, keep talking about them. The algorithm doesn't see positive or negative, it sees clicks. Shout out Jordan, fade away with the 5. Thank you so much. Saying that DSP has CTE from smashing controllers on his skull because he is punishing his parents for not getting the Wolverine doll. Turned himself into this. DSP having some sort of brain condition would not surprise me. Now, I'm not convinced it's CTE from smashing controllers on his skull for not getting the Wolverine doll, but definitely wet brain. Definitely, I think it's the wet brain, but brain condition nonetheless. Thank you for the 5, of course.
What's up, Game Boy? How are you today, man?
What's up, Game Boy? Green Lobster saying, if you had any different streamers say any of this, it would be huge internet drama, but everyone is so used to Phil doing it, nobody cares. We take this crazy for granted. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I always say you would never see another content creator behaving like Phil. You wouldn't see them. We're not getting all mech. Stop that in chat. You wouldn't see this type of content from anybody else. Not this behavior, not these words, not this mentality. Because anybody else would absolutely be thrown through the fucking fire and flames about the thing, about the situation. But DSP, it's just the way that he's always been. He's not even worth people's time anymore. That's why detractors, I'm not going to say half you exist, but nobody wants to sit through all of that. Nobody real wants to talk about it. Only fake style detractors.
Word, no, I'm intelligent, you stupid idiot. When you have someone who is your opposition, who's someone who has nothing but disdain for you and can do nothing but personally gain out of your involvement, you don't involve yourself with them. Don't you get it? That's how you fuck them. You don't give them the free win. You don't walk into the lion's den like a moron.
He's trying to fuck
and
Kino
give
Casino
them a freebie.
now? I thought he had a wife,
That's
dude.
the dumbest thing possible. Foggy Bottom, thanks for a $2 super chat.
Thank you so much. Foggy Bottom.
Ghost, how are you? Oh, I have no
What a
idea what's
great
going on with your
stream.
chat. I'm not seeing that, Zayas. My chat is working fine.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit.
When Andy tries to play a game at night, that
Okay.
casino has content.
All right,
Because
I
this is
skipped too
all
far.
they do.
I skipped too
Oh,
far.
yes, I'm well aware that every time that I talk about them, you know they're going to clip the content because this is all they do. Again, they're hacks. They don't have content. The only way that the casino has content is to copy someone else's content. Do you get it? They have no original content. Their original content doesn't work. Like when Andy tries to play a game at night, they lose all their viewers. They all leave.
Is the pre-stream original content as he just talks about what's going on in the news and his schedule and all sorts of drivel that nobody gives a shit about? Is that original content? Because if so, if the pre-stream is original content, then all react channels and all commentary channels are also original content that is robust and meaningful, of course. It's just the way that it has to be. It's literally just talking over shit and giving your opinion and saying the funny words sometimes. It's the exact same fucking content.
They don't have original content. All they can do is make fun of others. So that's what
But
I mean.
making
Like,
fun of others
of
is
course,
original if
they
they're
are,
your jokes that you come up with.
Oh, yeah, I hope Phil talks about us today so we can clip it and we can talk about it. Yeah, I get it. That's called lowbrow, dumbest, lowest common denominator, garbage content, bottom of the barrel, shoveling shit for dumb people. I get it. I received a $2.25 tip from Puffy Nipples. No, Soggy Nipples. Do you think that the casino fakes views? Do you think 3,000 people are watching them? I have no idea.
Do I remember DSP Reacts? Yeah, I do. I would also describe that as non-original content. If there was ever non-original content from DSP, DSP Reacts was one of them. So much so that even YouTube thought so at certain points and would claim his streams. So
I will tell you this.
It's
definitely
projection
viewbotting going on
for sure.
in general. Because it's happening to me. Look at what happened during the stream of Smart Guys with Ethan Rao. All of a sudden, my views on both YouTube and Kick skyrocket out of nowhere. Right? Like, what is going on? And then, of course, they don't count. That's the thing about view bots. They don't count. Like, you don't keep those views. You only
I think
see
that
them
has more to do with
temporarily,
Ethan
but they
Ralph than
don't
it does
record.
Kino Casino.
So
but sure.
it may at first look like you're getting more attention, and then it goes away anyway, so it doesn't matter. it's just a waste of time and money. So I don't even understand it. I don't understand it. But I don't know. The thing is, I can't comment on that on Kino Casino because I don't watch them. If I watch them and I could look at the behavior, like for example, the way that you could definitely tell there's a view bot is all of a sudden an insane amount of viewers rush in at once. And then all of a sudden an insane amount of viewers all leave at once. That's a telltale sign of view botting. Okay. If you see a gradual increase and a gradual decrease, that's more natural. So I don't know if the casino has that or not.
Who like and again, who needs this explanation? This answer could have been as simple as I don't know what their analytics look like, move on. Like, but again, you need the big explanation of how view bots work and whether the views are counted or not counted. It's just not necessary, man.
I'm not gonna
it's not.
I'll talk shit about them from stuff I know. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to make stuff up, you know? So I have no clue.
I'm not going to make stuff up, but he literally just was claiming that his opinion was factually fucking based in their factual observations. Sure.
For sure, there's view botting going on, and I don't know what the intent is. Like I said yesterday, I think the reason they tried to view bot smart guys is because they actually thought that.
And again, we're pushing the view bots on Kino Casino. This wasn't Ethan Ralph's doing to try and bump the numbers in order to get DSP to think that their show was far more successful and have him on routinely so that he can continue to shit on PPP. That obviously is not even in the fucking wheelhouse. That's not in the deck of cards. This was the Kino Casino that was view botting, of course.
Ethan Ralph would do a ridiculous amount of stuff not allowed on YouTube, and because the stream would have so many views, that YouTube would like act on it right away, which by the way isn't the case. Just for the record, YouTube is like, they drag their feet on everything. They don't move fast in any situation whatsoever. They're really slow. So none of that even matters. But
okay.
Cyrax Groiper is claiming that they used to mess with Ralph using bots. It's on the record. They have a history, so they wouldn't be surprising. Again, I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to talk out of my ass about something that I don't know and I have no evidence of. I can tell you about from my experiences with those guys what I actually know or don't know from how they behave and what actually went down. I'm not going to just make shit up to start drama. I just speak facts. Okay, so I have no clue. I
just speak facts. Says, constantly talking about how lonely PPP is and how he was trying to get in DSP's pants in Florida or whatever. But obviously that's all factually based again, right?
I think it will be a day with civility between you and Kino Casino. Not
it's just crazy civility. The way that he uses these words in this order.
I have absolutely positively nothing to gain from bringing them up or causing drama regarding them. Zero. My audience doesn't care about drama. You guys are not coming to my streams to hear me talk shit. I've tried it with Rich.
But he's doing it right now. Like this is the shit that is so fucking irritating about a DSP stream. In part of what's wrong with a DSP stream. These people are actively giving him money. They're actively egging him on to do this rant again and again and again. Because at the beginning of this rant, if we go back, was at 12:11. Where the fuck? I shouldn't have did that. 11:49. Fuck. No, I shouldn't have did that. I'm too dented. We're 11:39. Or 12:39. We've been going for over 30 fucking minutes about the Kino Casino. I shit you not. And they're egging him on over and over and over again. But yet, they don't come for the drama. They don't want to hear this shit. But all of DSP's best content is him talking shit and doing drama content. The most money he has ever made on stream was talking shit about RTU. And I wanted to bring that up because this week, over and over and over again, he's been saying, man, it would be really great if we could make more money on a stream than I did with the RTU one. That way I could claim that it was my own doing and I don't need them, this, that, and the other, which is incredibly sad and pathetic and just goes to show you how fucking mentally broken he is over the Kino Casino. But again, just going to prove the point that the most popular fucking content this guy does is drama content while yelling and screaming that it's not. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, penitence and buck broken is exactly the word that I was going to use, and I decided not to. But since it's there, yes, DSP buck broken over the whole thing for sure.
Who's someone who has nothing but disdain for you and can do nothing but personally gain out of your involvement, you don't involve yourself with them. Don't you get it? That's how you fuck them. You don't give them the free win. You don't walk into the lion's den like a moron and give them a freebie.
Oh, I think
that's the dumbest thing possible.
Too much. Fortunately, we're like a minute ahead of this or something.
Every time that I talk about them, they're going to clip the content because this is all they do. Again, they're hacks. They don't have content. The only way that could be me venting, maybe I'd feel a little better, but it wouldn't actually help anything. So what's the point? This will all end the day when they stop talking about me. And that I don't think will ever happen, because if you know the way their show
Yeah,
works,
yeah, yeah. Common Atlas.
it's a
Al. Shut up.
rotating thing. They don't have content. They rely on others. So all they're going to do is rotate around talking about me and everyone else that they talk about. Again, the Beardsons, the Ethan Rouse, everyone who they wrote,
The Nick Ricatas, the iDubbbz.
And I'll just be
Yes.
one of the many people that they talk about over time. Every
Right.
once in a while, they'll think I did something stupid and they'll bring it up and they'll make fun of me.
Right. Which was, again, always the content, and he was a part of their content before he reached out to them, and they were doing exactly that. So I don't know why this is new information, why we have to talk about this, why we're pretending to be surprised.
And then they'll just move on to someone else on their list, and they'll just keep going. And that's really it. I'm not going to keep bringing them up because I don't care. Literally, I don't even know what they talk about. I don't even know what they've said about me now, because I haven't watched a single second of their content since I dumped PPP and told him I'm not doing content with him anymore. That was literally the last piece I ever seen. Remember, he freaked out and he was like, you won't respond to my Twitter because you know it's true. I didn't see what's on his Twitter. I never looked. I don't care. I'm so far above and past this nonsense. I really am. And this is what they don't understand.
And he thinks that this is a flex, right? And he's always thought this. Well, I don't know what the detractors are saying. I don't know what they're talking about. It's all conspiracy. It's not true, this, that, and the other. But if you don't know what they're saying, then you can't actively, contradict their points and prove how that's not the case, only furthering his terrible image, because people will believe what other people are saying if you don't provide any sort of, proof of the contrary. That's just the way that it's going to work. You have to defend yourself. You have to know what these people are saying. Therefore, you have to watch the content or see it on Twitter or whatever the case may be, or actually never bring it up or never talk about it again. But that's not in DSP's deck of cards. He's incapable of not talking about detractors or the Kino Casino or whoever's under his skin today. It's just the way that it is. So he needs to be informed. He needs to see these things. If he's not, he's digging his own fucking grave.
Up here, when it comes to quality and morals and everything, they're way the fuck down here. The problem is everyone else is down there with them because they're all stupid. So they make money and
It's
they get
just
views.
weird
I don't
that he
care.
thinks that this
I'm
is a
up here above
flex.
that shit, way past it, more mature. I don't give a shit about it. So again, I'm not going to be caring about what they say and do. They can do whatever they want, and I don't have no involvement in it. But no, I don't feel like they will ever be at a moment where it's like everything's just cool, because to me now, they're going to milk me
Not even
the
for
same way they milk
sustenance.
everyone else, because that's what they want to do, because they think that's profitable for them. Because again, they don't have content. If they had content, then it would, then it wouldn't be a big, they don't have any content. So all they can do is just keep bringing me up and dumping on me when they feel it's appropriate, and then drop it and then get back to it later. So it doesn't always feel like they're beating the same dead horse, right?
So they do have content then. If they can get off of DSP and stop making fun of them, or stop making fun of him and move on to talk about other people and other topics, and they do have content then. I'm just wanted to confirm, just want to make sure we got all the details. We're almost done talking about the Kino Casino, if you could believe it. This clip's only 37 fucking minutes long. About these people we don't care about, obviously.
Instead of cake, I should get a cupcake for my birthday. I don't know. I feel like whatever my wife makes me for my birthday meal is going to be good.
No way.
And I'm not really going to care too much. I'm going to be.
I don't give a fuck about his goddamn cupcake or birthday cake or whatever. A whole lot of silence on this. Gotta talk to my team of editors, okay? They need to fucking straighten these clips up. We're done here.
Why are there 10-second stretches of dead air? Because I actually read what the audience is saying to respond to it. That's why. It's not just me monologuing. It's me reading what you're saying and answering questions. That's why.
Never mind. I realized why I left that on right at the end. That is actually the end of the clip, though. We're gonna move on to the next one, of course, which is from yesterday. We're gonna jump a little bit ahead because DSP had to address the claims that he wage quits games for the 9,000th time, because we've never obviously touched on this topic before. This is entirely new, needed to be said style session.
Go Eater says, this is not a troll. It's a genuine criticism. Can you stop assuming that because a game doesn't bring in your goal that no one's interested? No one said that. Go Eater, again, people misunderstand because you listen to the wrong people. You have to listen to me instead of my detractors. You have to stop listening to their highlights and clips that are out of context.
Okay, so this is for you guys, all you fucking idiots out there watching detractor content and all these clips out of context. You need to watch them in full context, which is what I'm providing here, right? I'm actually doing the service. Everybody else is doing you a disservice. I just wanted to make that clear. Atlas, the best detractor.
I am a gamer.
Here you have it.
My
He's a
lifelong
gamer.
passion has been video games. That's why I like doing gaming content. I love being a variety streamer, and I like playing games from all kinds of genres, whether it's a fighting game, an FPS, an action game, an RPG, whatever. I love them all, right? There's a few games I don't like for example, driving games, usually I don't like stuff like that. But in general, I like being a variety content creator, all right? However, I'm not some giant guy who brings in thousands of views every single stream. I'm not someone whose videos go viral. I'm not someone who gets sponsorships and partnerships or anything like that.
I do think it's really funny he's saying that he doesn't get thousands of views per stream, but I don't know if he's being view botted or something, but you can see the 7,700 people watching right now. Thank you, Raw Phil, for including the viewer count. Just really funny that those segments happen to overlap like that. The view bot segment and the wage quit segment.
I am very much an anomaly. I'm very different from the other content creators out there. I make my entire living off of crowdfunding. People coming to my streams and supporting this content. Do you understand?
Yeah, you're a beggar.
Because of that, my model for success has to be that I do content and broadcast streams that will be funded. All right? It doesn't mean that a game is bad or good if someone supports it or doesn't, but I have to put out content that will make money so that I can operate a business and pay my bills and make a living. Do you get it?
Okay.
When you see other YouTubers.
So then why, like, in relation to the actual question, which was critiquing DSP about not making the goal and then insinuating that it's because people aren't interested in the game. If that's the case, if DSP understands that this is entirely a business standpoint, then why, when he hits the goal, does he always say that the audience doesn't seem to be interested or they would have paid the money for to hit the goal? Why do we say it like that if that's not the case? Why don't we just, communicate a little more clearly and actually say what we mean and mean what we say, rather than insinuate something that's not true, which is why this tip was sent in the first place, this critique, if you will.
And the first time that their video starts, it's like, and by the way, this is sponsored by so-and-so, the website builder, or this food subscription service. I can't do that. All right.
You can do that.
I'm not giving those opportunities. And if I were, they'd be ruined by my detractors anyway. I can't do that kind of content. Do you get it?
Okay, so for anybody that remembers option 1, option 2, and option 3 from a couple of weeks ago at this point, the option 1 confirmed was never an option, just like option 2, where we went into drama, also never going to happen. Confirming for the 9,000th time that that segment was a huge waste of time and was nothing but a ploy to get more people to send him money while he played games. Sound good?
Because of that, I have to do content that's going to bring people to the streams and will be supported. Just because a stream is not supported isn't representative of if the game is good. I'll give you a perfect example of this. Monster Hunter Wilds. I played the beta. I actually really liked it. It ran beautifully on my PC, and I only made like $70. So does that mean Monster Hunter Wilds is a bad game? No, not at all. And does it mean that my audience doesn't like Monster Hunter Wilds? No, not at all. What it means is that for my style of streaming, whether it's my gameplay style, my personality, whatever it is, people aren't enjoying that enough to say, we want this to continue, let's support it. Get it? That's all it means. Now, that's the thing. There's going to be times when there's things that I want to do, and I can't. Metaphor, for example. That was a game back in the fall. I played 12 plus hours of the demo of it. I loved it. I thought it was better than Persona 5. I was stoked and ready to play it, but I couldn't get people to show up to the streams. I couldn't get people to engage with me during the streams. They were actually ignoring what was going on in the game, and I couldn't get people to support the streams. As a person who makes a living streaming, this is not my hobby. This is not me messing around for fun. This is my job. I have to find product that I can put out that people will watch and then support.
Does this sound like a gamer to you? Does this sound like a passionate, robust gaming style individual? Because it doesn't to me. I don't think that you could find a passionate gamer that would put down video games that they genuinely enjoy, that they would sink hundreds of hours into simply because the stream didn't like it. And even if they did, right? Even if you got your content creator 9,000 who was playing a game and it's not making him money, he absolutely would have taken it off the stream and continued to play it in his free time because he likes video games that much. That is not who DSP is. So all of this talk about I'm a real gamer, I only give my real opinions, I have passion for this shit, I'm different than everybody else. He's just confirming and proving time and time again that that's not the case, that he doesn't have more passion than anybody else, that he really does only play these video games for money, because if he didn't, he would continue to play them because he liked them.
It's that simple. Right? And that's it. This is not shit talking games. This is not shit talking an audience. That's just life. And it works for me. It may not work for other people. Other people may find ways around it, like doing drama content that bullies people and hurts others, but then they get ahead because of it. Other people may become complete sellout shills, where all they do is take in endless amounts of sponsorships, partnerships, and kiss butt 90% of the time. And then when people call them out on it, they get all pissy about it, because I've done that before, and those content creators got really pissy with me for exposing them for what they really are.
And now we're just fluffing our own ego. What does that have to do with the question? What does that actually have to do with what the person said? Which is that when you don't hit the goal, you punish the people that are in your chat because they didn't donate, and you tell them that they didn't like the game enough in order to continue playing. That was the critique. At no point up to this point have we addressed that at all. We've just justified quitting games because we're not making enough money, which is exactly the critique, the wage quit. That's why they call it that. If you went to work and you quit your job because you weren't making enough money doing what you were doing, we could call it a wage quit. Now, I don't think you would call it that in real life. That's a little cringe, but you could call it that, and that's exactly what has happened.
In my case, I am an anomaly. I'm very different from most other content creators that you watch.
God is a gamer is never a sentence I thought I would read, but I agree.
That's fine. You don't have to enjoy or watch my content.
Christ is king and God's a gamer.
You know, it's all good. There's enough content out there for everyone that you can watch whoever you like and enjoy whoever you like. Personally, I like my content. I like who I am. I like the fact that I can be here every day and not hurt others to get ahead and still make a living doing it. I'm eternally grateful for all of you for allowing me to do that. You know, I'm playing Sweet Coden and making a living doing it. It's pretty crazy to think about, right? Thank you so much. And that's that.
And
but no, just because a game didn't bring in $150 on a particular stream, it doesn't mean the game's bad. It doesn't mean that gamers don't like that game. It just means that with my audience, it doesn't work. And that's okay. Not everything will always work with a certain audience. Get it?
It's still not actually addressing the critique at all.
Ryu
just justifying his actions more, which isn't what the person asked.
Says, do you think you would ever do a playthrough for yourself, irrespective of your audience's reception? In some ways, like how you did Earthbound back in the day because you love the game. Yes, from time to time, that's perfectly viable, right? Here's the thing.
Here's the thing, okay? Here's the platinum level fucking mental gymnastics that you have to do in order to understand how I operate my own streams here, okay?
What's
Let me
happened
give you the rundown.
Since last summer, I have been seen by more people in a positive light than for a very long time. And even though the efforts now of the guys at Kino Casino is to dump on
29,000 people watching, by the way.
On Phil and make content out of Phil that will make them money, what they don't understand is that it's too late. I've already been seen in a positive light. There's already more people watching my content and being like, oh, so yeah, actually what Phil does isn't that bad. In fact, it's quite good.
This
He's
is
just
all
different
coke,
than others,
by the
and
way.
that's fine.
Nobody
There's
just
a
said
reason why
this.
he has to be different from others because of the situation he's
And
in.
if they did,
he's never
they
done
were
anything
lying.
heinous. There's no reason to hate the guy, and I like him now, and I'm going to give him a shot. Overall, opinion has gotten much more positive toward me. If that weren't the case, you wouldn't have people who want to be on Smart Guys. People would be running for the hills and want nothing to do with me, right?
So let's just remember who the two individuals that were on Smart Guys were. Ethan Ralph, who was only involved because of the Kino Casino arc and is only actually there for drama, hence why he brought up PPP every fucking instance that he could, and constantly was talking about how he wasn't there for drama. That was really robust. And regular Dent, Cypress TV, who was going to engage with DSP because he's a Dent. And that's the way that the cult operates. But that's obviously indicative of the population overall turning positive toward Phil, of course. If you don't see that, you're an idiot.
So that's it. It doesn't matter
TV.
how you like to flip on stuff or change stuff. It doesn't matter. It's already, it's already happened. And now I'm doing much better. I'm doing much better. Overall, streams are going better. Revenue is up. Everything's good. All right. So in that regard,
okay.
I want to do content that's going to resonate with my audience, that again, I'm going to get views, engagement, and support. Yes, I very well right now could be like,
but he's very clearly stated that he doesn't care about views and engagement if there's no support. There's many streams that you can tune in on where right at the end, when he doesn't make the goal, he goes, well, guys, I don't know if we're going to continue tomorrow. We got viewers and you guys are engaged, but we're just not getting the support. How many fucking pre-streams have you tuned in where he goes, guys, I don't know if we're going to continue playing Disco Elysium or whatever, which is actually the exact opposite. So I guess it's a poor example. But he gets on stream, he does the pre-stream, and then he tells people that he doesn't know if he's going to continue the game because it didn't make the money, despite people in his chat saying, no, I like the game. I showed up for this stream. I just don't have any fucking money.
Hey, let's play a game that no one cares about.
to be fair and clear and transparent and honest, Disco Elysium has the exact opposite problem. He makes money, but nobody gives a fuck about the game, which understandably so. The game is the majority of fucking reading from DSP, who is a terrible reader. He has no charisma or entertainment value in his reading at all.
Right? And we could do that. But to be frank, I don't think that's really working right now. What I need to do right now is find the games that are going to work, to cover topics that people want to hear, plague things that people will show up and engage in support, right?
Did he say plague things? He wants to plague things that are gonna work. I'm gonna run it back. Sorry.
Plague things that people will show up and engage in support.
Shout out Plague of
right?
Gripes, of course.
That's
Pick
what
up
I need
Plague.
to focus on right now, because I'm at a situation now where if I can keep levels at where it is, right? If I can stay at the levels that I was at, things are going to get much better for me and my family and this business. Take a look at the changes that I made in the last 6 months.
Okay.
Multiple camera angles. So now I can actually do new kinds of content.
If this isn't like an 18-year-old girl's desk setup, I don't know what is. Between the fucking cat here, the all-white gamer setup, and the cloud rest that we've got going on, this is exactly what I think, you know, a gamer girl has going on as their starting setup. 100%. This dude's a fucking clown. Never in my life would I be caught showing this.
In great quality that I was never able to do before.
Not that there's anything wrong with white peripherals or anything, right? There's nothing wrong with being a gamer girl, but this is not the setup of a 42-year-old man. This is embarrassing.
Man, running back and forth across my keyboard right now. I couldn't do that before. I can do unpacking, unboxings, DSP tries-its, all kinds of fun stuff with new stuff. My face cam dramatically improved, right? My face cam now is actually professional grade, where previously it never was, right? Now my face... Oh, what did I just do? I just screwed up.
He told you how professional he was for years, all the way up until he got upgrades, in which case he said that it was never professional and he's professional now. This is just proving once again why you cannot trust anything that this guy says. It's all nonsense to fit his narrative right now.
My face cam now.
And none of this even addresses the real problem with his content, in that it fucking sucks and is boring, and that there's no sustenance to it. There's no point in it existing.
Looking much better than ever before, right? So now when I do new playthroughs, you can see my expressions clearly. And now when I do thumbnails and stuff, it looks absolutely amazing. Like top-notch shit, right?
Top-notch shit on his thumbnails. Okay, I'm gonna go on an expedition to find thumbnails real quick, so
because I have the ability to do all this new stuff that I couldn't do. My gameplay quality, my stream quality, it's all been dramatically improved. So now the sky is the limit. In addition to that, because I'm making what I'm making, we can literally jump from game to game with no limitations. The problem used to always be, because Phil is limited in what he can play, he has to buy games and always play them to completion, even if we don't like them and he doesn't like them. And now a new game just came out that's virally popular, and Phil cannot play it because he can't afford it. Same thing. We had an idea, Phil. You should start building Legos, or you should do this or that. Well, I can't do it. I don't have money.
And
but now I do.
I don't have money.
Now I have the flexibility.
I spent all my fucking money on RGBs and webcams nobody gave a shit about. Come on, guys. Pay fucking attention. All right, so here's... Sorry. Here's the robust and peak fucking thumbnails that we're looking at here. I slid the wrong thing. My bad. As you can see, we're just gonna pull it up real nice and big here. These are the professional style, you know, emotes that you were expecting out of DSP's thumbnails, right? This is what the super high-end camera has allowed us to have. What a great addition, DSP. Thank God you were able to spend $300 fucking on a camera in order to make these shit-ass daily rap thumbnails no one gives a fuck about. Thank God, right? I'm sure that really boosted your numbers. Thank you, Vikes, for the 2. Saying all of this thanks to PPP, by the way. Absolutely. Big ups PPP for the arc, I suppose. And big ups Vikes for the 2. And Wesley H with the 5 saying Phil wants praise and money for making changes he should have made over a decade ago, and he doesn't see what the problem with it is. He's beyond delusional. Absolutely. He wrote Delulu. I wouldn't call it that. He is beyond delusional, 100%. And that's what he wants. He wants praise for the bare fucking minimum that people have been doing for ages now. It's, again, just embarrassing for him to behave this way publicly in front of everybody, I think. He should conduct himself better. That's why people laugh at him online, because he's fucking insane. Good God, no, with the 5, saying real adult-style dudes watch YouTube on a console on their TV and interact with chat through their phones. The real setup, if you ask me. That shit, Baby Atlas was doing when he was streaming at 16, for real. And that's how DSP behaves. So I wonder who's the real mature adult here. It's him, obviously.
To do all of those things that people always wanted me to do. Why? Because I'm making smart business decisions. Because I'm not saying, oh, we're going to force ourselves to play a game that no one cares about and no one's watching and no one's supporting. But instead, I'm playing a game, and if it works, we stick with
yeah,
it.
Kylie, I did see that the insane beg for 3K. I already shit on him and called him buck broken over the whole thing.
It doesn't work.
Rewind the stream. I'm not going back.
Which is, by the way, what a ton of other content creators have always done. This is not a new philosophy that all of a sudden only Phil has adopted. This is something that a lot of successful content creators have always done. Let's try a game out on stream today. If we all enjoy it, great. But if we don't, move on to another game that you guys like. But for me, it's like, oh, well, Phil's the devil, because how dare he rage quit a game or rage quit a game? Literally, it's a common industry practice. All of my peers do this, but it's never good for Phil to do something. It's always the wrong thing to do, right?
But they're never that transparent about it. You don't watch gamers online. They wind up quitting a game and then they get on, stream tomorrow, or they do their next video and they go, well, you guys didn't like the game enough and it's not making enough money. I'm not able to buy my groceries off of the gameplay this week, so we're not going to play that anymore. We're going to move on. Nobody else does that. That's why nobody else fucking raises an eyebrow when people quit playing games, because usually they just chalk it up to, I didn't enjoy the game. I don't think that it's good for the stream. I don't think that it provides the entertainment value that I want to provide, so we're gonna move on positively. No, like that's how other people handle it. DSP throws it in his fucking audience's face that they're broke as shit and that they're not willing to pay for certain games, therefore they're being punished. That's genuinely the vibe that it gives off in his chat, and you can see that by the way that people react to when he says these things. But whatever.
No, this has been working for a very long time. It's going to continue to work. I need to stick to my guns on this. Maybe every once in a while, if things are going so well, right, that every other stream is doing well, then I can say, all right, I'm absolutely aware that we're not going to make a lot on this or do well with this. All right. And if that's the case, that's fine. But right now, I want to stay the course of what we're doing because it's working. Let's play the games people want. Let's skip the games that aren't working. Right? I played Assassin's Creed Shadows for 9 hours. It got boring as dirt. The entire stream was disengaged. No one gave a shit about the game. Dump that turd. Flush it. There's no reason to keep playing these games that don't hold interest. Why?
Which is fine, which is a totally reasonable thing to, a reasonable take to have. Absolutely. But it's specifically when DSP says that he's not going to play games because they don't have the money. That's what this guy's issue is. That was the original question. It has nothing to do with entertainment value, has nothing to do with engagement. Specifically, when it's short on the goal, why do you act like a bitch?
I'm trying to entertain an audience. If no one is entertained to the point where they won't talk about the game, they won't show up for the stream, they won't support it, why am I streaming it? This is my job, right? Why would I even do it? Why would I go to work and do things that don't benefit the job?
He would do things that don't benefit the job because he has passion for video games is the actual answer. Now, I don't expect him to do that all of the time because, as we've demonstrated, he has no passion for video games. But it's this blatant, like, it's my job, I have to do it mentality that people, again, just they don't appreciate. They find it a little disrespectful, I would imagine.
That's my take anyway. All right.
But that's his take. There you go.
This is the key to success at this point. Things might change in the future. For now, this is working. Let's stick with what's working to keep the success going so I can continue to have these improvements, this flexibility, and better times for myself and my family. I think it makes sense, doesn't it? I hope that makes sense, okay?
Goddamn.
I think it makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Me too, dog. Me too. Crooked Hound with the 5 saying, so he's gone from being proud about completing games, unlike the money-hungry streamers, but now it's a smart strategy / philosophy he shares with them. Absolutely. 100%. I'm glad you're tracking the inconsistencies. Also, I saw it in chat, so I'm going to bring it up. He just said about a week ago that he has no peers. Nobody is like him. Nobody's ever done it like him. There's nobody that he can, get ideas off of because he's an originator and he's completely unique in snowflake style from everybody else. Meanwhile, in this very clip, he just stated that all of his peers behave this way. They have this same mentality and it works for them. Therefore, it should work for him and it should be expected. Just again, it's the double speak out of both ends of his mouth, which is obviously really appreciated by everybody with a brain. Now it's time for the final clip. I know all of you were super excited for the death of DSP. And by that, I mean in Inzoi, of course. None of you could have gotten that lucky this week.
Welcome back to
He did not
Inzoi.
literally die on stream. We were playing the Sims-like game Inzoi, which had me cracking up during my morning routine of getting ready for work as I watched this clip.
Only my second
So,
session. We have an hour left tonight, and the deal
we're
is
gonna listen to
I have
him
to get
complain,
to work, but I don't know
and then-
how. I
and
can't
then
figure out
literally
in-game
die.
how to actually get to work. Here's the schedule.
It's a
How do I
schedule.
go there? I can't. No matter what I click, it doesn't let me go there. It just says remove. That's it. It doesn't show you how to get to work, and it doesn't appear to be on the map. Xeno7, no one on the kick chat is tagging me or talking to me, so that's why I'm not interacting. If people did, I would. So
Yeah,
anyone know how to
dumbass.
actually get to work?
My favorite part about this
outside, what do you
entire
do then?
segment is
Walk on
that
the what the captain
DSP
did.
has played how many Sims games at this point, right?
he's on the map.
I want to say that he's played The Sims 3. He's definitely
This
played
place,
The Sims
Pluto
4.
Financial isn't on the map. There's a furniture store.
He's been a lifelong gamer, and yet he doesn't understand the very core mechanics of a life sim game. Because before The Sims 4, the way that Inzoi works right now is exactly how The Sims has always worked. In that when it's time to go to work, you just, it says you work from 9 to 5, your character leaves right at 9 o'clock, gets into a taxi, and then comes back right at 5 o'clock on the dot. It's like transportation is already considered into the time frame. DSP completely doesn't understand that. Apparently he's forgotten everything about The Sims up to this point ever,
See that?
despite the games existing like that for, again, ever.
Because I think these are potential jobs. The surf shop and the furniture store are potential jobs. But I'm working at the financial place. It's not on the map. So how do I get there? I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I'm so lost. I don't know. I'm going to be late. I'm not going to be able to get to work.
Just I fucking chat trying to get an answer. I like the
What do I
camera
do?
with the
I really
lean
hope someone
in.
can help me, or else I'm going to be late for work. I don't know what else to do here. I'm going to turn off the AI at this point. I don't know what to do to get to work.
Great idea, by the way. When you're so in the game, if you don't know the way that the schedule works, if you have the AI on and a scheduled event comes up, like going to work or going to get fast food or whatever the fuck, they will just automatically do it when the time
in the
arrives. If you
goddamn-
leave the AI on, all you have to do is leave on autonomy, and they will just go to work. But he's just turned it off while saying that he doesn't know how to get to work. It's just the most counterproductive thing that he could do. Obviously, just like typical DSP fashion. And shout out Good God No for the 5, saying, how you gonna have the style of a midlife crisis dude with 7 kids on his 5th divorce without even having the kids or the divorce? This is true. This is true. That's a great question. DSP really does just live an enigmatic life. None of it makes sense. You would think that he would have to have taken a different path in life in order to wind up the way he has, but yet he didn't. The path just doesn't make any fucking sense. The angry
boss.
eyebrows behind the shades.
How was the game so far? I like it. I just wish I realized how to do more in it. I am confused. Look, use public transportation. Oh, God. How do I know where to go to work?
And he's just making this far more complicated for himself than necessary. It's basic Sims
How the
gameplay.
hell do I
Just
get to
stay
Pluto
home till
Financial?
it's time to work.
Put your schedule under your face? What do you mean? I don't have a schedule under my face. Schedule. Here's my face. What are you talking about? Spawn Killer $2 super chat says it will pop up. Dude, I'm gonna be late. What do you mean it's gonna pop up? I'm already gonna be late. Nothing is popping up. I'm going to be late for my job.
So he's absolutely desperately stressed out about being late to his fictional job in this life simulator that starts at 9 a.m., which is incredibly ironic given that the guy is late to his own streams 30 to 45 minutes late every single day and gives less of a shit, right? And that's before even mentioning that, again, work starts at 9 a.m. and it's currently 8:16. This guy is trying to leave 45 minutes early for work that literally does start at exactly 9 a.m. and will pick him up. It's again, just a blatant misunderstanding of fundamental gameplay. How? How can you be this dense? The game isn't complicated. It's not hard. It wasn't designed to be hard.
What am I supposed? The game explains nothing. It's really pissing me off. I just want to know how to get to the fucking job. Why won't it tell me?
And Eric Brown, I'm never late. I'm never late to the stream. I always start exactly at 9 a.m. You just don't like the music, and that's okay. And again, just helplessly sitting there while the music plays instead of actually looking up the solution so you can move forward with the stream is it's an insane mentality to have. This is why people don't tune into the fucking streams. This is why people don't give him money during the gameplay, because this is not good gameplay.
What do you mean it's not time yet? Yes, it is. My work is in less than an hour. I need to get there. Look, my work is at 9 o'clock. It's 8:18. How the fuck?
Where is this mentality when it comes to real life streams, though? That's my biggest question.
Go to career tab. What the hell is a career tab? There is no career. Okay. My career recruitment. What about it?
This is legit what would happen if DSP got a job.
Zero.
Yeah, no, actually, the way that this ends is exactly how DSP would do it if he had a job.
Career path.
That's my favorite
Resign.
part.
There's no way to say go there. It doesn't say go there. Instead, look what he's doing. He's punching a vending machine.
Wow, his in-game character is just as stupid as he is. Incredible. Real DSP behavior. Falcon punching the fucking the vending machine.
Paper bag. Yeah, I don't know. It's already 8:30. It's still not triggering me to go to work, so I guess I'm going to be late. The game doesn't have anything to explain how to go to work. I'm lost. I don't have a car.
You would just think that this guy has never played a Sims game or a video game in general with how helpless and clueless he is.
I want to go to work. I don't know how.
So we'll skip ahead a little bit because he does eventually get to work. I mean, I don't know how long you really want to sit here and hear him say, I don't know how, you guys. Huh? What? Okay, so it literally hits 9 o'clock. His character switches switches outfits, and then he starts marching to the, as you can see in the bottom here. This is the queue, the action queue. This is the go to work icon. He's literally going to work.
What do you mean go? I'm already late.
And he still just doesn't understand that he's not late. This is how the game functions. It is literally taken over to do the right thing in this instance. And he's still not understanding.
A taxi arrived. But you're already late. You're going to work at 9:08. What just happened? What's happening? The fuck?
This is like when I tell people my workday starts at 4 a.m. when I don't actually clock in till 5. It's because I have to wake up an hour early and get ready, dumbass.
I'm stuck. I can't do anything. Where did I go? I disappeared. I was sucked into an alternate dimension. I can't go to work.
Is this funny? Is this a funny bit, you guys? Are you enjoying this? Are you laughing at this? And again, just, what? Huh? And this is the way that The Sims has worked for every single fucking game up until The Sims 4 came out, which wasn't that long ago, and the DLC came out called Get to Work. Every fucking Sims game has worked exactly the same. Usually the taxi pulls off, to be fair, but you would literally just disappear and wait to get home. It is again, the core fucking concept of a life simulator at this point. But he doesn't get it. He's never played those games, apparently. We had to take the shades off in order to get a better view, I guess.
I don't know what to do. I'm gone. How do I even do anything? Look. I can't. I'm stuck. I can't do anything.
Sims 4 came out in 2014. Don't tell me that. I don't like that fact. Take it back. Change reality to take that back. And he's sitting with the fucking the time scale on like one time, so we're gonna sit here forever. Just again, I cannot express how fucking stupid you have to be in order to play multiple hours of this game and still not understand the core functionality of the game. It's absolutely insane to me. This is a professional gamer. He plays games regularly and has been for the past decade and makes money and makes a living off of this, but literally cannot navigate this game to save his fucking life.
Can I see myself? Click to focus. Where am I? Shoulder view. This is the shoulder view. Whoa, I have a shadow, but I'm invisible. What the? I have a shadow, but I'm invisible. What is happening? Can I move? No, I'm frozen. I'm a ghost.
I like that King Snake hit him with the super chat for $2.
I tried to go to work and I died.
Saying, give up gaming, you suck in every game, boring regard. What a real super chat. Again, please don't tip the guy to say things like that, but that is a true statement.
And my body just instantly vaporized, and now I'm dead, and I'm a ghost. Because I can see my own shadow, but I can't move. I'm tethered to the sidewalk, and there's nothing I can do.
Wesley H saying that I saw him play New Vegas with the same level of competency. I would argue that New Vegas is at least a more complicated game.
Top-down view.
In that you actually have to, navigate the world, and that there's RPG elements and the way that the damages are calculated on weapons and the attack rate of characters and damage threshold. Like, there's a lot going on there, I guess, if you really want to be an idiot. This is not that, though. This is literally wait for your fucking character to go to work and then wait for them to come home. Speed the game up to not waste your own time. It doesn't get any more simple than that.
Hit fast forward. Well, Spawn Killer had done that $2 super chat, says there was going to be a pop-up notification. There was, but it made no sense. You're already late. Why would there be a pop-up at 9 that says go to work now when you're late? And then I got a $2 super chat from a troll. So thanks for the $2 super chat, stupid. All right, we're now
which is the one we read,
support.
obviously.
Let's keep it going, guys. Let's hit that goal tonight. We got about 45 minutes left on the stream. Okay. I literally don't know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do right now?
I literally don't even know what to do. We're gonna iFuck chat until somebody tells me.
I wanted to see the job. I wanted to live the job and see what you need to do and see if you can level up your skills. It just doesn't work. Okuchan says some jobs don't have a physical location designed yet. Your choice sits in a taxi till the shift is over. Try fast forwarding to the end of the shift and see what happens. That is awful. How stupid is that?
I mean, you could have just looked that up or known. If you would have known anything about the game before purchasing it and playing it, you would have known that. But again,
to wait. You want to wait to fast forward, like
just the exact same way that The Sims has worked for pretty much ever until that one specific DLC came out. People will argue that The Sims 3 was the best Sims to ever exist, and that's the exact way that the mechanics worked. But DSP is completely unfamiliar with the concept, apparently. What a gamer. Am I right or am I right, folks?
8 times. So he just sits in the taxi and gets paid for it.
I don't like the guy. He just sits in his office and gets paid for it. It's like they live the same life or something.
This is great. This is top level stuff. I really did want to simulate a workday in the game and see what it was like and see if I could like get a job skill or have work interactions with coworkers. It doesn't exist. How lame is this?
DSP more excited about working in a video game than in real life, obviously. Despite arguably making more money at a real job. He's only at $59 tonight.
Nine to 3. 6-hour intern's day.
Brother couldn't even get a full-time job in game. He got the fucking part-time. That's crazy. He's working like cat.
This is boring.
He's at the Lucky Jeans store, dude.
I gotta sit in a car all day. This is stupid. So I'm gonna change jobs then.
Yo, Sleepy Don with the 15 months. Thank you so much. 15 months is a long time. Saying big ups Atlas and chat. Hope y'all are doing well. Well, I also hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the 15 months. Big ups.
Exactly. I want to do one that actually exists on the map so I can actually have a place to go to. All right, hold on. Whoa. I got back. That's good. You make money with the programs you make in your free.
So DSP just worked his one 6-hour shift, okay? He's decided to go and work on his programming, which is obviously super realistic and robust for DSP to be doing in real life. He's obviously a highly educated and insightful person. He could program.
Time, that's neat. All right.
Yeah,
Time
back to the computer. Real.
Why is this his sleeping outfit? We've got to fix that. The game thinks
I was actually going to ask that same question. For anybody who didn't see the sleeper fit that he's got on, he kind of he gives fuck is that wrestler's name? I'm drawing a blank on one of the most famous wrestlers of all time in the WWE, The Undertaker. There we go. He's giving me Undertaker vibes going to sleep.
Why is this his sleeping outfit? We've got to fix that. The game thinks that this is an acceptable sleeping outfit. I don't understand.
Pignum PI is pretty good.
Why is the karma of my... What's going on? What the hell just happened?
Yeah, speaking of Undertaker, he fucking died! Ack, ack, ack.
What the hell just happened? What? Why did I die? Why did I... Why did I just die? I had 1 day of work.
Just like real life. If DSP had to work a single fucking day in his life, he would come home and pass away almost instantly. He's just not built for this shit, you guys. And neither was his fucking Zoe either.
What happened? You can't make it up. What happened? I listened to this audio style. I didn't know that this face existed during this segment. This is awful. DSP, if I could make a request moving forward that we never do this again, I would really appreciate that. That's the stuff of nightmares right there. That's the corner demon. That's the sleep paralysis demon. It's just awful, man. Terrible. Exactly, the dream of all of my trolls. I have absolutely no idea what just happened.
He made a clip from this. I didn't even know. Oh, it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? It was on purpose. You're right. You're right. That does definitely seem like some shit DSP would do. He saw the way that Review of the Week gets his thumbnails by posing, mid video or whatever. He thought he was cooking with that.
You tell me.
You're right.
Why did I die? So let's read this. Phil Burnell's embarked on the final journey of life, embracing death. This Zoe lived a full life. Wow, yeah, it was like 2 days. Gaining knowledge through many experiences, filled with cherished memories with family and friends. What? That didn't happen. Phil Burnell passed away peacefully.
Again, just like real life, the way that art imitates life is crazy. The parallels. Lived a full life with friends and family? No, stupid. That didn't fucking happen. What are you talking about?
This Zoe's ready for the next life, and we remembered as a noble soul who's cherished all the experiences and love from the world. Please watch over Phil Burnell so warmly as it embarks on a journey of new learning. A Zoe's karma is determined by past choices. Zoe's with bad karma scores become ghosts and must remain in the world to reflect upon their lives and learn lessons that they missed during their lifetime. Seems like the Zoe's unfinished business to sort out in their life. Nice to meet you. I'm Nix, the one who manages Zoe's in the afterlife. What?
So even in fake life, DSP's karma was bad enough that he wasn't even allowed to pass on peacefully and look down on his family from the heavens. This motherfucker really got sent to purgatory as a ghost for being a piece of shit in a video game. Amazing.
Don't be alarmed because you become a ghost. By performing good deeds to fill in traces of your past life, you complete your journey and embark on a new beginning. Once the karma reaches good, you can be ready to move on. Keep in mind, having too many ghosts in your city makes it harder to add new Zoys. What?
Huh? What?
Why did I die?
Yeah, he is Jacob Marley for real.
It never even indicated that you were sick. How did I just die? Ghost Play is in development. It's not done yet. Play with your original family.
Yo, Ghost Play sounds like some weird, like, erotic role play. I'm not... I don't know that I can get behind Ghost Play, but I think that's it for today. That's all the clips I have. Like I said, no eating bullshit, no fucking Street Fighter nonsense from last night. I don't care about none of that. So thank you all for stopping by and having such a robust and meaningful Saturday morning stream with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be here next Saturday if you want to come back at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard for the next stream. But as far as I know, and again, he could cancel this at any time, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern over on WPIG 1651. I believe we are still on for Act the King, which I love so much. I know ALT's nothing but bad vibes and negativity over there, but you guys know Atlas loves Act the King. So, like I said, he could cancel at any time, but as of right now, we are on. So I hope to see you all there. Please have a very safe and meaningful time while you're away. And goodbye.